Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino, and we are back with the BB27 live draft. Can you believe it? Another season of Big Brother is here, and we are back with our draft panel, mostly, to talk about it here with you on the night before Big Brother 27 kicks off. We're so excited to be joined here by some incredible Big Brother drafters once again, as we will draft 17 or 16 of the 17 house guests here today, or 15 of the 17. I'm not sure. We'll figure it all out here tonight with a man who wrote the book on Big Brother. Here he is. It's Taran Armstrong.
Hello. We are here again for Big Brother 27 this year, ready to draft some players. Hopefully this year, the players I draft will choose to win the game instead of choose to lose the game.
Yes, that if they have the option, you hope.
Which is not that often that you have the option. It was the options right there. MJ,
yeah,
you just
do this,
go,
win.
Hey,
do
I
this,
like
lose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taran, how are you doing today as your book sits high atop the best-selling book charts?
Yes, I really wasn't even expecting it to, because I think most people are getting the signed pre-orders, but doing well on the Amazon charts. Currently sitting number one, right above Parvati's book.
I was number 3 in Amazon one time.
Oh yeah,
never got to number 1 in Amazon.
They call you the smartest author to never get a bestseller.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that.
Yet, Taran. Okay. Back with us, it's been so long since we heard from the voice of the people, and she's back. It's Melissa Deni. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing great. I've emerged. That means it's Big Brother season again. I'm very excited to be back. I have to get back in the swing of things for podcasting because I always just talk every time I get back. So I just, I need to remember this is not real life. I can't talk over everybody, even though I'm very excited. So
wait, is that what you do in real life?
Well, okay. When in real life, I feel like when you're having a conversation with people, you can talk at the same time and still understand each other.
Yes.
On a podcast, it gets like very bad and unpleasant to listen to. And I'm well aware of that from the comments on my
doing
last
great,
podcast
Melissa.
for Big
Don't
Brother
begin
16 retrospective.
No, I almost did. I almost talked over you. Don't start the season with negativity and negative self-talk, Melissa.
It's self-recognition. It's mainly just me acknowledging that it is a process of getting back into it, but I'm very, very excited.
Okay. All right.
Like Vince, she's very self-aware.
I'm very self-aware.
Like riding a bike. You're back. Okay. And then, of course, back with us, it's Pooya Zamikili. Pooya, how are you?
I'm doing great. You know me. I'm a sucker for draft season. I'm a sucker for Big Brother season. And now the two things collide, and I'm back with some great folks. Can't wait.
Okay. All right. So 4 of our 5 drafters are here with us. Aman is running late. And so Aman will be joining us later on in this program to make his draft picks. Okay. So stay tuned for that. Aman will be with us, and we will get Aman's draft picks as well here on this draft. But the show must go on, and we are here with you to talk about everything on the night before Big Brother 27 kicks off. Yesterday, we learned the identities of 16 of the Big Brother 27 house guests. We will maybe learn a little bit about the identity of the 17th Big Brother house guest when we all tune in for the premiere of Big Brother 27, a 90-minute premiere, which we will then recap live after the fact here on RHAP Podcast. Make sure you are locked in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you go to weknowbigbrother.com. Shout out to my dogs at the crib for the first time in Big Brother 27. Okay. Taran, you and I got together for a fun talk yesterday. Did some first impressions of everybody. We also got to hear the first impressions about your book. Just in case people missed that podcast yesterday, what have you been up to?
Well, Rob, I wrote a book. It's right here. It's called Behind the Mirror. And it's been in the works for a few years. I finally can announce it to the world. It is available for pre-sale. It will be published after the season ends in the fall. But the pre-orders are the most important by far. So if you are interested in picking one up, you can support independent bookstores by buying a signed copy from me, because I have a local bookstore I've partnered with. I'll be signing all the copies before they go out. It's already gotten to quite a lot of books that I will need to sign before they go out. So pray for my wrists. But
that's what I used to say, Taran.
No.
Rob's on another one. I don't know what happened to him.
Please.
It's I'm very excited. I've been so excited by all the support I've received about the book, and I hope everyone enjoys it when they have a chance to read it.
I pre-ordered. I'm up there. I'm on that list. I got him to that top of that list, just so you guys know. It was me as part of it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Melissa, for your support.
Like some thanks here.
Yes. Taran, will there be a signed copy of the book for the winner of the draft?
I feel like that's like not a very good prize.
That could be one of the prizes.
You can all get a signed copy regardless.
Yeah. And you'll have so much fun if you get to sign it to yourself. To me, congrats on another great draft, Taran.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that'll be just like a great
I win, you all
post.
have to sign a copy for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
The same copy, or you get 4 copies signed by different people?
I was thinking one, but now that you mention it, all of you buying one would be an extra one. Great.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to get the draft order. I just found out before we came on, Melissa won the last draft. So congratulations to Melissa. You will make the draft order. Hopefully you won't have them on first in your draft order.
We're just going to have them on do it. That's fine.
We will have 15 draft picks, 3 rounds of the draft. We will all draft 3 people. 2 people will go to the audience. And the mystery house guest, the mystery box, is eligible to be drafted. Taran and I talked about this yesterday, that we had Suri in Big Brother 25, an unannounced house guest who just showed up in the first night of the house. We had no idea. She was not drafted. Last season, they advertised the 17th house guest. I drafted her. It was Ainsley, not a real house guest. I was fueled with rage after that, and we will see what happens. The mystery box could go either way.
Rob was really hoping they wouldn't kill Ainsley last season. He was really disappointed.
I was like, hey, vote her in. Let her play. They did not. So that was that. So the mystery box could be an actual 17th house guest. It also could be just some sort of like night 1 hijinks to be able to have a theme for the season. So there's going to be a point in the draft where the picks aren't looking so good. He's like, give me the mystery box. This draft should go much faster than our last draft, which we did, which was the 24-person Survivor 50 draft, which we did over on Patreon. This is going to be a breeze, 16 people.
Yeah.
Super quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Pooya ate up the mystery boxes on that draft, picking up the Survivor 49ers.
I picked one, to be clear. I picked one.
Right,
yeah, I did take a mystery. You know why, Rob? Because the last time mystery boxes were on the table, it was BB Can. Taran picked both of them. I had all 4 of my competitors leave in the first 4 weeks. So I was like, maybe the mystery box isn't as bad as the known. So,
yeah.
No, so maybe this is the same here.
All right. And then one other programming note, the live feeds, Taran, will be a little delayed for the 2-part. Usually we get a Wednesday, Thursday 2-part premiere, and then they put the live feeds on after the second episode. Instead, they are stretching the two-part, you could call it a 4-day weekend maybe, of the Thursday to Sunday, and then the live feeds will come on Sunday night with the first live feed update coming up on Monday.
Yeah, it's going to be really weird because we're going to have the premiere and then it's going to be like radio silence for another few days until the second
I wonder what's
episode.
happening. Yeah.
Like it's not often that you have such a gap, not since, zombie week, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And the house guests are playing right now. There were clips that were dropped of showing some shocked faces reacting to what the mystery house guest could be.
Mm-hmm.
So some clues are leaking, still some questions about who it's going to be. All right, Melissa, can you please give us the all-important draft order?
This is hard. I literally, I love winning, don't get me wrong, but I don't love picking the draft order because then I feel like if I lose, it's all my fault. And I have no one else to blame but myself. Okay, so I guess I can't put him on first.
You can.
You could.
Then we just give him someone, or we just.
Well, it'd be annoying if you put him first. And
Yeah, Melissa.
The person most of us want, kind of thing.
And I can tell you, we have worked this all out. We have a plan. We have a contingency for whatever you want to do.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking, Taran first.
Okay.
And then I was thinking Aman second.
Okay.
And then I was thinking me third. And then Rob fourth. And Pooya last.
Okay.
Say that with a smile. Don't say Pooya last with a smile, Melissa.
Pooya
What I do to you?
last. Oh,
What I
last.
do to you?
Down
You know
there.
what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You know, me and you, we've been swapping winners back and forth since BB23, so I get it.
Okay. All right. Is that how it's gone? You two have both won two of the
I won
last
23. Melissa won 24. I won 25. Melissa won 26.
Wow. Taran, you going to put up with this?
Listen, I've been busy. I've been writing the book since
That's true.
24.
That's
true. I have no excuse, I guess.
Book is done now.
Yeah. All right. So, Taran, with the number 1 pick on the board. Okay. This is historically a tough spot to draft from.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, despite the fact that I haven't won in a few years, I'm still apparently the biggest threat that needs to be neutralized. That is apparently what's going on here. Listen, this is a tough spot for me because my draft order is less an order and more of a chop them in half. Basically,
Chop them in half. How do you mean?
Yeah. Half of this cast I'm willing to draft. The other half I don't want.
Okay.
That's what I've decided. That's my draft order.
Fair.
Well, there's no grenade in the Big Brother draft.
No,
I mean,
thankfully.
Yeah.
literally, but figuratively.
Yeah. So you think it's
You know
a
what I mean?
top-heavy season?
I think it's a glass half full season.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I also feel like that there is a line of demarcation of, I think that maybe like I've got like 8-ish, 9-ish players I think could win, and then I do think it falls off after that.
I think I might have just enough to be okay as the first pick here, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what you guys pick, I think.
Okay.
But my first pick, the first pick of the draft. Let me just make sure it's the correct person because I just wrote a name down.
Okay.
Yes. My first pick will be Ashley.
Ashley. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's take a look at Ashley. Here she is. Ashley. She is the secret lawyer.
The secret lawyer, the strategy assassin.
Melissa, if you played Big Brother, would you tell people you're a lawyer?
I think
Just tell people you're a podcaster?
I don't think I would say that. I think I would say like I work at Red Bull, but I don't know if I would say I was a lawyer. I feel like people, I mean, maybe at the time when I applied, I was like, I'm not going to tell people I'm a lawyer. Like, that'll be my secret, whatever, like everyone here is doing. But I really think nobody cares. Like, I don't know. I feel like lawyer, it's just like, okay, cool. Especially when I'm like, oh, I'm a lawyer at Red Bull. They're not going to be like,
Exactly.
oh no, she's going to get us. Like, it's like, that has nothing to do with the game. So I don't think I would keep it a secret. I think I would just tell people and like, no one would care about it. Unless I was trying to tell them I was 18. And then and then they'd be like, whoa, she's so young. That would be my other option. Pull a Natalie. But yeah, no, I would tell people.
All right. Taran, tell us about why you made Ashley the number 1 pick in the Big Brother 27 draft.
She just kind of ticked every box. She's, I think, one of the people with the fewest sort of like ticks in the negative column. She's a fan of the show, big fan of the show. She knows the game. She's like a big enough fan that she calls out like Andy as a good player. That's a little niche in the fandom. She is very smart. She has some athleticism to her. I think she's very capable of winning competitions. She's just like it would be weird to not pick her because everyone else has at least one thing that I'm like, they look pretty good, but she doesn't really have a butt. She's it's
Taran, I can't believe you're looking at that.
Yeah, just a picture of her from the front. I don't even know how you got that.
I'm feeling good about Ashley.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I had Ashley very high on my draft board. I had her at number 2 overall. That, as Taran said, not a lot of weaknesses. She's 25, but she's not 22 like some other people. She seems like she's very smart. She could turn out to be a crazy person, but there's not a lot of evidence of that.
Yeah, I feel like
could.
I mean, yeah, you never know with Big Brother, but I had her 4th on my list. I really like her. I feel like, first of all, I like that she said Andy as one of her favorites. I feel like that means that she like knows the game. A lot of people who are like, oh, I'm a longtime fan, like they don't necessarily like know the game, and they just, watched with their family when they were young and they don't really remember it or whatever. And I feel like this to me indicates that she like actually cares about the strategy. And then the fact that she is an attorney, and especially like she went to Georgetown, like I know she said that many times, and it was kind of like, okay, but like that is impressive. And I do feel like she's really smart. And is she the one who said she did pageants, or was that someone else?
She did pageants.
Okay, so originally, like a few years ago, if you had asked me, maybe more than a few years ago, if you had asked me like, oh, is that a plus or a minus for Big Brother? I'd be like, oh, that's a minus. I don't know. Like,
you would have been like, oh, a pageant girl? Wow,
yeah.
Probably not a girl's girl.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I would be like, oh, pageants, like I don't really. But I feel like with Taylor and like other, like I feel like recently there have been like a slew of people who have been like, I'm a pageant person, who have been so impressive that now I'm like, ooh, pageants. Okay, all right, we got a good one here. And so I feel like it's become like a good thing for somebody to have been doing pageants when I see that in their bio. So to me, I really like Ashley. I think she can do really well. So I do think she's a good first pick.
Yeah, there's not much I can add that y'all haven't already spoken about. I think that what Taran said, honestly, is the most accurate thing, which is all her answers are good on paper. Like, there is no bad answer given. It's just a matter of we'll see how it goes. I had her rated 2nd on my board also, but low-key, it was because I just never, unless I was first pick, I didn't think I was going to have a chance of getting her anyway. Otherwise, she's a very high pick regardless. So
yeah, I didn't think I'd get her. I figured she was a pretty consensus top pick. And also, like, when I watched her video, the interview, she just seemed really personable and like easy to talk to, which is, I think, a big thing in the house.
Okay. All right. Anything else on Ashley?
That's it.
All right. A great pick by Taran to get things started. There is Ashley number 1. Okay. Now, we told you we had a contingency plan, but I'm being told that Aman is standing by and ready to draft. So with the number 2 pick, let's welcome in Aman Adwin is here.
Hi. Hi, I'm Sakaman.
no.
It's me.
It looks like we got Sakaman.
Sakaman.
Oh.
Yeah, it's me. Not to be
Sock-
confused with
Pretty
Sock
close.
Pooya. I'm Sakaman.
Sakaman, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, how you doing? Sakaman here. Very happy to be here. Sorry I'm late. What's going on? What I miss?
It's okay, Sakaman. That first off, how's your summer been?
It's been a foot, I'd say. Going. It's going.
Yeah, what's it like to be a sock during the summer?
It's hot. It's very hot. I'm neglected often. People wear sandals. I really hate a sandal. But I'm here now. I'm very excited. How was Scotland?
Yeah. Oh, good. Nice.
We call it Sockland, where I'm from.
Yeah. Not far off. Yeah.
What's up?
Now,
My turn.
do you hate a sandal because the sandal is basically saying like, hey, you are insignificant. You don't even matter.
Okay, lower your voice. I heard you. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I hate a sandal. But look, I'm here now. I left the diary room closet where the floor is, right by the shoes. And I'm here now to talk about this draft. I'm ready to draft. I have a pick. I have a pick in mind.
All right. Sometimes the real Aman is a little indecisive when it comes to making a pick. Sakaman, are you locked in?
Well, I was thinking about going in one direction, and then I started thinking about going another direction, and I was like, oh, I should pick this person, but I don't know.
The Sakaman's accurate.
Yeah, this is very accurate.
Okay, because if I pick somebody, then I know Rob's gonna pick them. All right. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. All right.
Ready. This is the first pick.
The second
My first pick.
Second
pick. Oh, that changes everything. Okay, hold on. Gotta rearrange some things. Did we already lose Ashley? Is Ashley off the board?
That's the one off the board. Yeah.
Ashley is off the board. Sakaman, are you willing to eat anything unusual if you don't win the draft?
I will eat my shoe. That's right. You heard it.
Oh.
Wow.
I will eat a whole foot. How about that?
Yeah.
I'll eat a whole foot.
I can see
Oh boy.
All right. But I'm not going to lose the draft. I have a pick in mind. You ready?
Yes. Who is it?
With my pick, I'm going to pick. I don't know. Okay. I'm ready. I'm picking Morgan. Morgan is my pick. That's what I want to go with. Morgan. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. She like Ashley, except like not Ashley. I feel like she's going to be like Ashley, very competitive. But she's not going to be so competitive that you see it. And I think you see it when you see Ashley. At least that's how I feel. So I feel like Morgan can hide it a little bit better. She's a little bit older. I love this pick.
She's the gamer. Sock Aman. Do you play any games?
Just foot games. Footsie. Hopscotch.
Twister.
Yeah. All that good stuff.
Soccer.
Feet things. Soccer. I love soccer. Kickball. Kickball is my favorite. Because I'm a sock.
Yes. Okay. Morgan.
They should bring back the challenge where we got to kick the ball 100 times. I'll stay up all night. I'll watch the live feeds. I love that one so much.
Sakaman, did you buy Taran's book yet?
I don't have any hands. I can't really just purchase.
It's good excuse.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
All right. Well, Morgan was somebody that I had decently high on my board. Certainly would have been a first round draft pick for me. She seems like somebody who, while maybe doesn't have the most knowledge of Big Brother, seems like a smart person who takes games very seriously. I think that there's maybe some flame out potential of that she could be doing too much too soon. But I do think that she's a pretty smart person who could be somebody who does really well. I think that there's like a Vanessa upside with Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She was number 1 on my list. And when I got 5th, I kind of got reminiscent of Survivor 48 draft, where I was like, I don't think I'm getting Morgan. I'm very high on Morgan, Rob. Similar to you, I had her number 1 on my list. I think that she is someone who, Like, when you hear gamer and I find out you're on Twitch, I need to find out what you're doing. What's your library of work? How is that going to translate? She does something called, if you've heard of the game Grand Theft Auto, she does GTA RP, which is Grand Theft Auto role played on a server with a bunch of other creators and people. You're playing characters. You're in situations that are improvised completely, and you're doing it all for content. You're trying to you're clashing with a lot of big personalities, a lot of big egos. So I like that automatically. I felt like she was very easily personable in person as well. So I think the offline and the online sociability is there. So I don't think it's just you're only good on streaming side of things for that. So I think that's good. And I feel like she's got ball knowledge. She knows what's going on. I think she understands this game also, which is why I was high on her.
She's going to get along well with Keanu. He's going to dungeon master for her.
Mm-hmm.
The role playing.
Yikes.
I liked Morgan a lot as well. I also I saw her Twitch channel. She's like a proper streamer. She streams 5-6 days a week, 6 to 8 hours a day.
Wow.
She was streaming just a couple weeks ago. It was her most recent stream. So she really grinds. She definitely is capable of focus, as somebody who does streams and long podcasts. It can be paradoxically exhausting to do that kind of thing for so long. So I think that speaks well of her endurance level, both socially and physically. And so I think that she also really impressed me in the interview. Really, the only downside is that she just doesn't know the show very well. I don't know exactly how much research she's done, but she definitely doesn't have a super solid base level of knowledge in the way that some other players do. But to be fair, there aren't a lot of those players in the game. Many players don't know the game very well. And so I think that actually puts her on a decent footing.
Footing, you hear that, Sakaman?
I love it. I love it. She's a Division I track star. And, as a sock, that really spoke to me.
Yes. And I think a track star, that's a good athletic background to have. She's going to be quick. She's going to be athletic. So I think definitely some hope here for Morgan Pope.
Okay, hope for the Pope. Melissa, any thoughts on Morgan?
Yeah, I like her a lot. She was one of my top picks. I feel like I really liked her interviews. I like that she's older, quote unquote, but older for the cast. I mean, she's 33. She's younger than me, but still older for the cast, or for Big Brother, I guess. I liked that a lot. She said she was a former Division I track athlete. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's very impressive. So it's not just oh, she's a gamer, she's going to be thinking. It's she also has the athletic side. And it seemed like she was really easy to talk to. I mean, her interview was really good, and she seemed very friendly and personable and funny too. So I think, that'll serve her well. It seems to me if you're just looking at the interview and her background, it seems like she's very well-rounded in all aspects. It's she's got the athleticism, she's got the strategy and the social. And I feel like that's all really good. I mean, we'll see how it goes once she gets into the house, but I feel like just right off the bat, what you see of her seems really promising. So we'll see.
Okay.
Thank you. And she's not afraid of a shoemance. I love a shoemance.
Shoemance, yeah. Very good.
She said if I'm standing in front of a bunch of books and one of the books just happened to read and open up and I have to read the book and it involves shoemances, I'm kind of open for it. I love a shoe.
Okay. All right. Sakaman, thank you so much for popping in. And yeah, look, we'll see you back pick number 9 maybe.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Sakaman. Okay. All right. The great Aman. Okay. I think Sakaman knows Pooya.
God, I hope not. I don't think that those two together would be menacing. That would be a lie.
I've never seen them in the same room together.
Interesting.
I'll say.
Yeah. I suspect that I couldn't envision a world where Sakaman and Pooya are together. I could envision that.
You think they're friends or they're
I've never seen.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Melissa, the third pick in our draft.
I wish I didn't do this.
Why?
This is not what I want.
What happened?
Well, see, now I thought maybe it would give me some clarity because like you guys said, there's a top and a bottom.
Mhm.
And so I thought maybe with no. I thought maybe if I
Podcast
had
is a landmine.
if I had two people go before me, if I was like in the middle, maybe I could like I would be able to know like, oh yeah, okay, I'm on the right track here or I'm not. And I feel like I'm torn between two people, one of which I did put at, and I'm not going to pull him on here, or maybe I am, but I put two people, one of which is my number one. And then I had Morgan, but those two were like interchangeable. And I was like, I can't decide. I don't know. And then,
Sounds easy.
but then the third option, I'm like thinking like, I just know if I say my number one, everyone's going to go, yeah, obviously, Melissa, of course. And I don't want that. So I feel like I would be a little maybe more excited to watch my number three play, less excited to watch.
I think you're trying to deny who you are.
I feel like I'm kind of like sometimes I think about it in the Brent way where it's like, okay, who would I like to see win? Like who would I be excited about watching play? And so to me, I'm like, do I want to pick the person that I feel like would be interesting to watch or the person that I'm like,
you're the voice of the people. Give them what they want, Melissa.
Well, the people want me to pick the person that I would like classically pick. So yeah, everyone in the chat is saying
be exciting.
No, I'm just going to pick Zach. I'm just going to do it because I actually like, and to be fair, like I like Zach a lot. Like, he's got I really loved watching his interview. I felt like he was super like easy to talk to. What?
Sorry, just Pooya's face was what I was feeling, and it was funny to me.
Okay, fine. I liked Zach's interview a lot.
Okay. Now, is Zach the person that you thought was going to be fun to watch or the classic
No, the classic Melissa pick.
And this is the classic Melissa pick. You are giving the people what they want.
I'm giving the people what they want. This is what they say. Anyway, I loved watching his interview. I felt like he was a guy that I would want to talk to. And okay, we can have different opinions as to whether we like Zach or not, everyone. Yeah. I'm just saying when I watched him, I felt like he was a friendly guy who was like, seemed like he would get along with a lot of different people. He's an athlete. I could see him fitting in with people. Yeah, I don't know. I got good vibes from him. And like, I felt like he had a decent strategy, even though I don't feel like he knows the game like at all. I felt like he had a really good like strategy that he had laid out. So to me, he seemed like one of those people that comes in, doesn't really know the game, but like picks it up and is really smart and like I feel like he could get along with people and make his way through. Maybe I'm off and everyone else like saw the interview and was like, this guy sucks. But for me, I liked him. So boom.
I'll come to Melissa's defense here. I had him in my top 5 as a guy who seemed friendly enough. You know, you never know, because I think that we probably looked last year at Matt and probably thought, oh, this guy could probably do well. He seems personable. He seems like he's an athlete. He could do well. We didn't necessarily see him being the first boot. So there is some variance there, but Zach could be fine.
Zach could be fine. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could go either way for sure. And that's part of why I was kind of like, is this a situation? Like, is this a season where the athletic threat gets voted out first because it's like, get him out. Why would we not?
Yeah.
Or is this a season where they make it to the end and it's like, well, we can't get him out now, you know, like, I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So the thing about Zach, there are two main things I think to point out about Zach from my perspective. One is that his interview, and the interviews, they can always be misleading. Sometimes the way you talk in an interview or a diary room answering questions is going to be different than how you actually talk to people in real life. He didn't really leave a lot of space. Like he would just kind of talked and then like kind of kept going. And that happens sometimes, especially with like his archetype of like fit young dude who's really confident. We kind of did just see it with Matt last year, where like the feeds opened with him holding court in the pantry, like literally holding people hostage because he wouldn't give them any space to talk and just kept talking at them. So there's a little bit of fear that he might have some of that in him. But the other thing about Zach that I actually think is, potential downsides, but also potential upsides, is that this is a cast where I would say at least 10 of them said, I'm going to lie low in the beginning. I'm going to let other people do everything. And Zach is pretty much the one person who was like, I'm gunning for that first HOH. I'm going to be putting together all the alliances. Like, I think Zach is going to be running the house for at least a couple days. The question is like, does it crash and burn right away? Does it crash and burn after a week? Does it crash and burn after a few weeks? Does it never crash and burn? That seems unlikely, but it's possible, right?
So for the interviews, at least the ones I saw, it wasn't an interviewer having a conversation, right? It's not like an Ike situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like for me, as far as I understand it, the interviews were just, here's a question, now answer. And like you're just talking to a screen, to a camera in the diary room. And
he does like the Lord of the Rings, where like you think he's about to end, but then it turns out he had another 30 minutes in him.
But I feel like it's like, to me, it's not necessarily a tell of how he's going to speak to other people if you're just chatting to an empty, like to a camera, when you're like doing your like shtick in front of a camera versus like having a real conversation with someone. And that, I think, to me, is not as helpful when we're getting these interviews. It's like, I much would prefer having two people in a room together so you can see how they interact with a person. Like, I feel like when we watch the interviews with Ika, like those, to me, I was able to see like, okay, how would they interact in the house with somebody? Like, how do they play, like come off well and like in flirty in a good way? Or do they come off like creepy and weird? Like, to me, it's very hard to get a good read on someone if they're just like doing a diary room session of like, well, we go out in the backyard, I don't know.
I do agree. And I think that he is probably a very charming guy. And I think that he will have a lot of people that like him in the house. I did actually see a little bit of that in that interview. But there's just, again, I feel like there's a chance it might go another way.
Yeah, I think like winning the first HOH is not a bad shout, especially when so many people are so willing to not do it this season. Like again, we've talked so many times about that first HOH being the gate to setting yourself up for a long time. I think something that also should be mentioned is that the BB Blockbuster being there typically will favor whether or not the comps are mental more than physical. People are not going to want to risk putting a physical person up there anyway in the event that they save themselves, stay, and then come after them the next week. So I mean, he could have some safety built in there. The thing that I don't, and I, as the person who did draft Matt last season, I did see some similarities for sure. The one thing for me is that, Melissa, I was surprised because you mentioned this is a pick that you would usually go for. And I feel like he has I don't get knowledge. I get new person who's into the show. I feel like he's watched last season and he's watched like the first couple episodes of season 16. That's the vibe I got. And I just think that a person who thinks they can combine Mackenzie, Chelsea, and Tucker into one player makes no sense, because Tucker is the antithesis of Chelsea's game. Like, Chelsea's playing behind the scenes. Tucker was doing the most to flip things upside down. This person seems keen to want to do that. That's not good. Your baby's here now, so it's the best pick in the world, and I'm so happy. I take it all back.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The baby and the dog for the fan support. Yeah. Wow. Yes, Melissa, give us a chance.
Yeah.
Put her full screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hi, sweetie. Okay. Hi.
Here he is.
Sorry,
wow.
This is Alan. This is not his debut podcast, but his debut podcast where he like notices the screen and can just say hi. So yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to bring him in and say hi. And Piper had to be part of it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, Piper, come on, go down. Hi, Alan. What do you think? Do you like podcasting? You want to talk into the mic? Say dada.
Say voice of the people.
Say voice of the people.
Say Zach. Yeah. All right.
Alan, sorry.
Make it say pre-order Taran's book.
Say pre-order Taran's book, Callan.
Say, this isn't
heard
Big
it.
Baby. This is Big Brother.
Yeah, this isn't Big Baby. This is Big Brother. What do you think, Callan? Okay. Sorry, he just wanted to say hi.
Okay. Pick number 4 is here. And I've got pick number 4. And I am going to run the card to the podium because in a draft where I did not feel great about many people, this was my number 1 pick on the board. So don't let this podcast drop below 55 miles per hour. Let's take the red pill, everybody. Give me Keanu. Excellent.
Yep. Excellent pick. Great pick. For a second there, I thought you were about to go mystery box. That's what I thought you were about to do.
No, give me Keanu. I mean, look, this could be a total flame out pick for sure. But on paper, that as Keanu himself will tell you, this is a triple threat. A guy who is strategic, he is social, and is certainly very physical. We don't normally get a specimen like this on Big Brother. And, you know, it could be a colossal failure. You know, it could ultimately result in, you know, somebody who's trying to put together a 9-person alliance the first week. It's horrible. And he's out early. But I think that the upside to dominate the game is as high as anybody else that is on the board.
Yeah, I really like Keanu. I think he's. I don't even see the flame out potential, to be honest. I think that, from my perspective at least, and you know, you could always be wrong. I feel like his worst case scenario is he's too reserved, and that he's too quiet. So I'm hoping that he has enough of that social battery to really like get in there and mix it up with the house guests early on. But the thing is that, like, you know, even if he is a little reserved, I think that he's the kind of person, just based on physicality, that other players will want to include in their groups because they're going to be like, oh, let's get some muscle, right? And I think that's a good thing for Keanu. So
yeah.
He also knows the show really
well. He knows the show.
Yep. He's a dungeon master. He's like he's a nerd, which I think is a good thing, because people love sort of like contrast in personalities and looks. And I think that he's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, I liked him. I feel like his I like that he's not just like a classic meathead jock kind of type. He looks like he's an athlete, but he also he can interact with like a wide variety of people. Like a wide variety of people do Dungeons and Dragons. And like, I feel like that's super helpful. Although it was really funny when he was like, yeah, my ability to do Dungeons and Dragons, or to be a dungeon master, allows me to like do really well with improv, and it allows me to quick thinkly. And then he's like, sorry, think quickly. Mm-hmm. I was
they
like,
left
okay,
in
like, exactly.
all the mistakes that they made.
Oh, yeah.
They did not do them any favors. In this. It's like, yeah, we got it. That's fine.
They also left in like a bunch of room noise, which apparently there is in the diary room. Who knew? And a bunch of like weird jump cuts, and like it was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It was really weird. But yeah, it was very funny when he was like quick thinkly or whatever. And it was just like at the exact moment he's trying to prove how fast he can like think. It was pretty good. But no, I think it also depends though. I feel like my concern with him, like obviously, would be that, you know, people see him and are like, this guy's a big threat. He's very athletic. He needs to go. And so that could be a situation. I feel like if he plays up the. other aspects of his personality, then that would be much better for him. And I feel like he could. So yeah, I like him.
That could happen in some Big Brother houses, but I don't know if it's going to happen in this Big Brother house based off of the people that are picked to play this season. Do you feel like, is there like that sentiment of people like looking to gun for the big guys? I mean, maybe an Amy HOH week one, you know.
I think I think also paradoxically, the bigger you are, the less likely you are to be targeted for your size. Because I think there's this idea that like some people are too big for competitions. Like oh, he's got a bunch of muscle, but and this is not very true, but some people think, oh, it's all for show sometimes. Or just in like Big Brother competitions, like, oh, well, he's not going to do well on the wall comp or anything like that. Or like, I think that's a false perception, but I think that weirdly, a player like Zach might be more readily targeted for being an athlete who's really physical than somebody like Keanu, just because he's a bit bigger.
I mean, to be fair, like if I looked at them, I would be like, I think for Big Brother competitions, Zach would probably be the bigger threat. Like I would think that, even if maybe it's not true. Also, a couple other things. Number one, he says he knows the show, but then his examples were all like stuff that you might have seen in like a compilation of like best Big Brother moments. And I don't know if he like actually like has seen all them in context or just like watched a video of like, here's the best moments of Big Brother. And then he just like quoted them.
Because he knew Maggie's name.
Yeah,
which I think is
I feel like that's a deep pull.
Yeah.
Even though she was a winner.
I mean, I hope he actually like watched the show and knows it. But like, at first when he gave the Kaser example of like, oh, I sealed your partner's fate, I was like, oh, he knows that moment. It's so great. And then he gave like two more that were like very like standard, like Big Brother, like watch that,
I mean, remembering the Derek quote, I think is also kind of a deep.
But you watch the video though. You know what I mean? Like you see the video, they say the quote, and you're like, okay, these are great moments. That's all I need to know.
Can anyone find a video?
Yeah,
with exactly
find a video
those
with
three
these moments,
things,
and then we'll know. And then the other thing that I didn't like was that, and this is not on him necessarily, because a lot of people like have this type of answer, but when they say, why do you want to play, or why do you want to play Big Brother, or why are you going on the show? When they say, oh, I just wanted to challenge myself. Like, to me, it's like, do anything for that. Like, Big Brother is not like, oh, I just wanted to challenge. Like, it's not about Big Brother to challenge themselves. Like, I don't know.
You're right.
Like,
this was a horrible pick. I blew it.
No,
he wanted to challenge himself.
They all say it.
Is Big Brother not anything?
I feel like it's a fake cop-out answer because they don't know the show. They don't know why they're on Big Brother specifically. Like, to me, it's not a Big Brother specific answer. To me, that's just a generic, like, yeah, I just felt like applying. I don't know.
This really is Kylan's movie buff.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I love it when in the preseason, Melissa really digs into somebody,
Melissa,
like one specific thing they say.
Zach's bucket list was, I want to win the first HOH. That is not a bucket list item.
First of all, it can be, because you want to win HOH, okay? I would love to win HOH, and that's show specific. So,
Okay.
I'm just saying that, like, if they ask you why you want to be on Big Brother, don't talk about just some generic, I want to challenge myself. Say why you want to be on this show specifically. What about Big Brother is the challenge? Oh, I want to challenge myself to live in a house with 16 other people or whatever. Like, that to me, okay, that's fine. But saying just generically, I want to challenge myself, no.
No.
Literally,
nothing.
The first thing he said, the first bit of footage we saw was him saying, it's been a long time coming. I can't believe it's here. Like, he's been applying.
So then give a better answer.
Okay.
Someone get his letterbox. We need a letterbox now.
Yeah, get it up there.
Now.
Okay. All right. There's Keanu. Pooya, anything else that you want to say on Keanu? Are you good? All right.
I'm good.
Okay.
This is not Keanu specific. I'm saying anyone. I just happened to catch it with him.
I have some big news here because after 4 picks in the draft, joining us, it's the real Aman Adwin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They told me the real Aman was here.
This is the real Aman.
Y'all!
Aman, you're not in the house?
Y'all
I thought
know
you were
what?
17th house guest.
Hold on. I have a friend. One second.
Wait, hold on, guys. I think we've added Aman twice.
Yeah.
I think there's a glitch.
Well, Sam, there's 2 Amans here.
I don't know.
I've got a friend here with me.
Who's
His
that?
name is Sock Chappelle. How you doing, Sock Chappelle? I'm fine, Aman. Can you tell your real version of yourself to get the on with life? Like, it's over, okay? Oh, okay, we're done with the joke. Okay.
Sock Aman, you gonna take that?
Yeah, that's a.
Sock Aman is speechless.
Yeah. Or muted.
Yeah, or muted.
I hope he's muted. Cut his power.
One or the other. Okay.
Burn him.
He's gone.
Yeah. Are you on? Switch to Firefox. Okay.
Burn the
All
thought.
right. All right. Thank you, Sakamon. All right. But Real Aman is here. And congratulations on your pick of Morgan.
Thank you. I'm very happy that I got Morgan. I was not first of all, I wasn't expecting to get second. Secondly, I'm very happy that I got my first pick. So
I was
You and me both,
hoping,
Aman.
I'll tell you the strategy with putting him on second is that normally Aman goes with like someone wild and crazy, like personality first. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'm not like gonna compete with Aman. So I think Aman will like take a pick that I'd not really.
But then you were like, "Oh, this is bad that they picked the people that I wasn't gonna pick because then I
I
wanted
was
clarity."
going to pick Morgan. I was going to like after I did it, I was like, I'm picking Morgan. Like after I set the order, I was going to pick Morgan. But technically, on my written out list, she was second. But once I picked the order, I was like, that's the one who I'm going to pick if it comes down to it.
Aman, what are your thoughts on Zach?
I mean, I think he's okay. I feel like he's definitely going to be entering the house with a lot of just I've got this kind of figured out. I know how to maintain my threat level. I know how to make other people be more threatening than I am. So I feel like he's got a good enough head on his shoulders. I just don't know, with a bit of an older cast, is some of that like little young whippersnapper charm going to be effective for him? I don't know, but I definitely don't see him as like an early flame out. I see him as someone who will be generally okay. I guess I just need a little bit more data. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Pooya is ready to make the first of 2 picks in a row. Pooya,
Yeah.
the number 5 pick overall goes to you.
Yeah, in the rear. It's all butts over here at 5 and 6 pick. Here's the thing. I'm very conflicted, and I can very much speak openly because if I do the math correctly, the next time I get to pick, I'm deciding what I get and what the audience gets, right? Or is that wrong? That's right. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
You will pick you have the number 10. I'm sorry. You pick 5, 5,
Yeah,
6,
he'll
and then
pick
15.
Yeah. So let's be honest here. I'm in a very conflicted spot because being the 5th pick is low-key a great spot because you can get 2 of your like top 5 prospects. But the problem is I also have an eye for this mystery box because historically, if the mystery house guest, if there's one house guest that is an alumni of any show, specifically even Big Brother, they're going to do very well. So part of me feels like I just go in that direction. But then the other part of me thinks, let's try something new. And also, would people be smart enough to not do that? So anyway, I think let's just rip the Band-Aid and get 1 pick in and talk about it. And then I can decide on my 2nd pick if I want to make that gamble. I'm going to go with someone who I'm very surprised with, who I did get to watch the video of today, one of the 3 videos I hadn't seen yet. I'm going with Vince here.
Okay.
Pick. Yeah. Vince was very intriguing to me because Vince was somebody, I know he was one of the 5 people that people saw like the quick ad for. I didn't know anything about him.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the mustache and I was like, this feels like stunt casting to me. Like, or is the mustache getting him on the show? Then I listened to him speak and I actually like what he was putting down. I felt good about the way he sees the game. We'll talk about it. So really, he has this thing called the WABA strategy, the wing it, adapt. I like all that. I like that he sees the game, and I believe it was Vince who saw it like every week as a mini game of survive, make your conversations, kind of like, decompartmentalizing the game to go week at a time. I like all of that. As long as you have a overarching strategy. Because if you're just like coming in, I'm just going to wing it. I don't like that at all. But Vince gives me somebody who has that opportunity, has that understanding. So I like that from him. I thought he was well-spoken. I like that too. He seems chill. That's pretty cool. Little peacocking with the plaid and the beanie and the mustache, but I think
nothing wrong with peacocking, Pooya.
That's right, Rob. That's right. You and I know both. You and I both know this. Yeah. So again, surprised, but got him.
He was my other one that I was deciding between. I was very
That's
interested.
What I thought you were going to pick.
Yeah, I was very interested in watching Vince play. I feel like I totally agree. At first, I was like, the mustache was like a turnoff mainly because I felt like it was like a gimmick. not because I felt like, oh, I don't like the mustache. It was more just
Right.
like, this feels very like, oh, he's got a mustache, you know? And it's like, I don't know if that's like the vibe they're trying to give us, but that's what it felt like. It was very mustache forward. And then when it said he was unemployed, I was kind of like, oh, it's another one of these. Like,
Another gimmick.
Another gimmick. I felt that. And so but then when I heard him talk about like the unemployment and stuff, like I actually felt like he gave some really like thoughtful answers about like, I'm just like, I don't know. I know it's weird to see someone who's like 34 not have it figured out, but I just don't really have it figured out. And I felt like, or like, the fact that he seemed very self-aware and aware of like the perception that people have of him. And the fact that he was like, I know people are going to see like 34 and like unemployed, like they're going to think he's like a trust fund baby or like, what's his deal? And like all this other stuff he was saying, like he's obviously very self-aware. And also like the fact that he just like, the strategy that he laid out, I felt like that was very good. I do feel like he might have a tendency to like overthink. He said that he has a tendency to overthink, and also like the fact that he was already like going through his mind all the various like things they could be thinking about him and all this other stuff, and like whether he should stay if he's unemployed or not. Like to me, that reads as like maybe he's just going to be like constantly churning his wheels and never be able to just like come to a solid decision. And so that made me a little nervous, but generally, I feel like I like him a lot, and he seems personable, and I think he could get along with people in the house. And yeah, I like him.
Also, the promo photo makes him look like Jim Carrey from the Sonic movies, does it not? I feel like
He looks like Jim Carrey, period.
Yeah, totally does.
Yeah.
He looks like Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah. Dr. Robotnik. I thought that he could be insufferable in like a Daniel Durston sort of way, but I did think that after watching his video that he was making some sense.
Yeah, I really like him. You know, a little piece that did give me pause is when he was like, I don't want people thinking I'm a trust baby. I'm like, well, are you? Because I feel like that would be the last thing that came to my mind if I was just kind of just winging it in my 30s and I was just sort of out here just trying to figure out what I wanted out of my life. The last thing I would be wanting people to be, last concern I would even have about my impression is that I had money stashed away.
I think I agree. I think he must be, because the way that he described, like, I want to find a job that I love and I don't want to, I'm like, okay, so you have the ability to live without having a job.
I got that vibe.
It's giving cushion.
I love being
We said yesterday that he looks like that he is either worth $6 billion or negative 45,000. His look could go either way.
By today's standards, negative 45,000 is even not.
I'm holding out for a job I love. Like, oh, that's a big luxury there. Like, I don't know. It just that to me, I was like, when he said the trust fund thing, I was like, are you? Like, okay. But no, I do like him. So I don't know.
But I agree. I do relate to him. I do feel like, you know, a lot of people are in a similar position that he's in, sort of not necessarily, you know, matching up with whatever society is telling you that you need to have everything figured out by. And so I kind of appreciate the free spiritedness of it. I appreciate the fact that he called it Wawa. Wawa is a big convenience store around these parts, so it automatically is, you know, making me like him. And just, you know, him saying
he's got the Philly people on his side.
People,
yeah,
he's got it. And I feel like, you know, him saying that he wants to approach each week as a mini game. I'm like, that's the way to go. That's the way to do it. Big Brother is ever changing. It's ever evolving. You really have. It's like life. You have to just sort of like pick it up from where you can and decide the best course of action. And knowing that your weakness is that you might get a little too lost in the sauce, or you might say the wrong thing, or you might get a little too excited. I think that's a good thing to know about oneself and to know when to curb and when not to. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is a little bit of that. He could be a little insufferable. Maybe we see him on feeds and he's just the type that just will not stop talking. That is very possible. But for right now, I'm liking what I'm hearing. I am.
Okay.
He's a top halfer for me.
Top halfer. All right. So, Pooya, you are in with your first pick. It's now the second round, and you have to make a second pick.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, left on the list for me are there's like a couple that I genuinely would be fine to have on my team, happy to have on my team. There's a couple oh hell no's. So as long as I don't land with one of those on the back end, I'll live. I have decided not to go through with the mystery house guest gamble, so we're not doing that. We're looking at pure cast that we've seen here. I'm gonna pick somebody who I felt really good about in the interviews, who I think could have what it takes to go all the way, and I think is a very fun pick. I'm going with Mickey. Give me Mickey. Yeah. Well, Aman, give me your thoughts.
I just like her name.
All right.
Is the Disney in you?
Mickey Lee is a fun name.
It is Disney. This Disney in me, yes.
Mickey Lee.
Yeah, I feel like the job coming in, event curator, I think this is someone who has to, again, plan things, stack things meticulously, juggle a lot of different things, deal with a lot of different personalities. And I think that is a great place to be. You know, it is a front-facing social job where you got to make sure everyone's feeling happy talking to you while managing a lot of stress behind the scenes. I think that could translate into Big Brother really well. I think for like age-wise, 35 is a great spot to be in. I love the personality she was giving. I also like there are plenty of men in Atlanta after this. I am not looking for a showman. And I was like, you know what? I'll take that. I like that. We take with that. We run with that. And yeah, look, this is a powerful pose right now. This I felt very good watching Mickey. Yeah. The one thing I will say is, if I remember correctly, Mickey kind of was like, no one's gonna perceive me. I'm gonna like be in the background. I was like, I feel like if you're standing like this is perception, my friend. Like you are going to be perceived. So as long as that's not overarching, I feel good.
Yeah. Mickey, she's in sequester. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know if Drake dropped a new album.
Mickey, please. Mickey. I overlooked it for this pick, okay?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that meant. I was like, are you waiting for the album to flop, or are you waiting for the album to like do well?
You ready to be in the hate comments, or you downloading night one? What are we doing?
Yeah. A piece of me feels like she is Team Kendrick in all of this, but I agree with you, Pooya. I feel like she is, this is a boss. Okay. This is a boss lady, as it were, coming straight out of the A, where it is, listen, it is the Mecca of Black America. Okay. This is like, it is all appearances out there all the time. It is prestige. It is excellence. It is like, you got to be somebody or you ain't nobody. And so I just feel like she's going to come into this. I mean, she even said it in her interview that she'll be the one to watch this summer. So I think that she has a lot of confidence as a woman that's very self-assured. I hope that it does not tip into just sort of like an abrasive energy or sort of an energy that puts people off. I mean, we've seen how that kind of translates in the past in other seasons. So I'm hoping that other house guests are receptive to that and that she is as bubbly as she appears as well in her interview. But I don't think that she's going to have any problem making friends. I don't think she's going to have any problem wielding influence. I'm just a little, it's kind of like how I feel like about Zach. I'm just a little afraid as to whether or not she's going to wield it in the best way. But I think that she's definitely a contender for sure.
Speaking of Zach real quick, so Pluto TV put out a video where they asked all the house guests whether they're night owls or early morning people, and the only person that said, I wake up at 4:30 to go to the gym like it's a normal thing was Zach. Anyway, I'll yield my time.
Yeah.
Enough.
Everyone else said they stay up all night. He was like, no, I'll wake up at 4:30 to go to the gym. That's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah, well, maybe he'll be strategy.
Work out at 4:30 in the backyard. Stay up.
Yeah, just
think
stay
about
up.
that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's another top halfer for me, but luckily Melissa took Zach, who's a bottom halfer, so I think I'm all right still.
We'll see. We'll all see.
Okay. Anything else on Mickey?
I like Mickey. I like her. I do feel like, like Aman said, it's like, we don't know whether it's like the confidence and all that is going to be like too much for people or if it's going to be just that right amount. And I hope it's just that right amount, but it's very hard to tell from like interviews. Like I didn't feel like she came off like too confident or anything like that in her interview. I felt like her interviews came off really well, but it's always like she keeps describing herself as like sassy and like she's going to bring the like energy and like the big personality and all this sort of stuff. And when people say that about themselves, sometimes it ends up being like too much. So I hope that's not the case. But also like I literally like when I watched her interview, I felt like she read older to me. And so I hope it's not that she can't like mix with the rest of the cast. And so I was literally, when I was like typing notes, I was like, oh, she's like older. And then I looked at her age and I was like, oh, she's my age. I was like, oh, okay. Like I felt like she read older to me, like older than me.
Jeez. All right, Sandra.
Okay, I'm just saying that like I felt like she read older, and like it's possible that she might not click with some of the like younger house guests that are out there, because there are like seemingly a decent amount of younger people on the cast. So I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like her and I don't think anyone's picked this person yet, so maybe I'll refrain from making any commentary about her. But I feel like her and another woman here will do very well together. I think.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Stay tuned. All right. There's Mickey.
Mickey Mouse, baby.
Yes. All right.
Who's next?
That's me. I am pick number 7. And I will have to say, the panel, maybe as Taran got the night started and said this was a top-heavy draft. So there have been 6 picks made, and 6 of my top 8 are off the board. So this has been, I feel like, a chalky night so far in terms of even Zach, Melissa. I had Zach as number 5 on my board. Okay.
Thank you.
I have somebody who I feel a little bit like Melissa, where I have somebody who I could take who could be a little sleepy, or I could do something that's a little bit more exciting. But you know what? I'm gonna stick to my board. I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna do what I did last year and go really off my board with the second pick and get loosey goosey. I'm gonna go with the person I had number 3 on my draft board.
Love that.
Give me Catherine. Is it exciting? No.
Okay.
Not at all. But is anybody coming for Catherine? No. I thought that
Fine dining server.
There's a few different young women in the cast. I thought that Catherine, to me, had the best interview of, the young 20-somethings that we got from the women in this cast. I thought that she talked a lot about how people open up to her. And I think that she has a chance to be somebody who doesn't seem like that she's going to be like falling into a showmance at the end of the first week. She's like showmance number 1. But I think Catherine is somebody who's capable of doing something in this game.
Yeah. I think...
Was she a top halfer? Top halfer?
She was a top halfer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I felt pretty good about it. I feel like when I was watching her interview, I felt like she I said she has iron in her. I feel like she's going to be somebody who like plays kind of hard. And I don't know if people will see it coming. But I think that like if she gets any power, I don't think she's the kind of person that's going to be afraid to wield it. That's just a vibe I got. I could be wrong. But I like that. I like that in a player. And I think really like her biggest weakness is that she is so young, 23. There are a few younger people on the cast. She feels like she has a lot of depth for a young person. But the problem is that that's exactly what every young person thinks. What young person says, I'm actually pretty shallow.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, because she also she didn't explain it. I mean, not that she has to explain anything in an initial interview or anything like that, but it was I've experienced a lot in my 23 years, but didn't there was no mention of anything. So it was
I felt the hint. I was curious. If I were talking to her, that would have made me curious. I would have asked her about herself. Yeah. It would have led to a bonding moment. I think there's something here. It's just a matter of, can she really take it all the way? Can she win the respect at such a young age?
She has a PR background also. I think that she talks about that she is going to be underestimated by people. She comes off as extremely trusting, but is actually not extremely trusting. So I like that she's a little bit camouflaged and is somebody who could really surprise some people in the house.
Yeah. When I watched the videos yesterday, I kind of felt meh about her completely. I watched it today. I felt way better about her. I think everything you both have said is on point. I think this is somebody who can legitimately hide in the background, but also, like Taran said, I think winning a competition, I could see her wielding the power as well. And I think she's going to get along with people just fine, like absolutely just fine.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was in this spot last year where I don't know what number I had. And I was sort of like, should I take Chelsea or should I take the mystery house guest? And I said, give me the mystery house guest.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea is fine. Might be a little boring. No, this year, give me Catherine.
So Catherine's our winner.
Next
huh?
year, you're going to be like, give me the
The mystery box. Catherine, first boot loser. Embarrassed me.
Loser.
Yeah, I feel like her interview
Choked
was.
in the BB Blockbuster.
I felt like her interview was fine, but I did feel like I did write down in my notes like she didn't really stand out. But then I also said that might be good. Like that might be a good thing. Like, you know, because if there's, especially in the first few weeks, it's like if you stand out for any reason, like you're an easy target. So I do feel like she could easily get like put into some alliance and then just take it to the end. So I do think that like she's a safe pick, but I think like a good pick.
Yeah, the only thing that gave me pause about her was that in one hand, she says because of the fact that she has a public relations degree, she's very good at reading people. Her job being a fine dining server also makes her very good at reading people, listening to people's issues, but pretending to care and not really caring. But then on the flip side, she said that her biggest weakness is that she's too trusting. I'm like, okay, so what is the truth? Are you just answering these questions? The first thing that comes to mind? Do you really know yourself, girl? Like, what's going on? So that was the only thing. I won't put too much on it because, you know, these kids are getting asked so much in one day. Like, they probably are they're just ready to get in the house. So I won't put too much on it, but that was one thing that I was like, okay, interesting. We'll see what happens.
Pick number 8 is here, and it's time for Melissa to go back with her second pick.
All right. Okay. I'm going to pick, let me check my list. Okay. I'm going to pick a more interesting pick, I guess. This one could go either way. I really don't know. But I think maybe this person will be fun to watch, hopefully. I'm picking Ava.
Yes, great
Okay.
pick. Fun pick.
Yeah, I feel like she was. When I first saw her interview, or like when I first saw her bio and stuff, I was kind of like, oh, I know what this girl's about. But then I listened to the interview, and she was funny. She was super funny when she said that her potential love interest wouldn't pass the background test to be on Big Brother. Like, I thought that was hilarious. And then I thought it was also. She also said that she's not afraid to be the villain. She's an Italian from New York. Like, I just felt like it was all very interesting stuff that she was saying. And then the fact that her younger brother is a super fan of the show and encouraged her to apply, like, and she's doing this to like connect with her brother. Like, I feel like obviously he would have prepared her going into the house and had a lot of stuff to say. Like, I don't think she's going in blind. I really do think that like, he's probably given her a lot of feedback, a lot of stuff. Like, I think she's probably, even though she's not necessarily a super fan herself, like probably has some good knowledge going in. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like she could be really interesting. Now at the same time, like, I feel like she also could just like, maybe she's like a little too much or something, or she doesn't connect to people. I don't know. But for me, I really liked her interview and I was impressed. So I think she'll be an interesting one to watch.
Taran, is she a top halfer?
She was not. Melissa has 2 bottom halfers right now.
Yeah, see,
Wow.
we'll see. Sharon and I have different thoughts.
I say that I do. I think she was probably one of the higher of the bottom half.
The higher of the bottom. With
Top of the bottom.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Top of
In
the
the
bottom.
sense that, I think that a lot of people read her interview and they were like, oh boy. But if you watch her interview, she's actually very charismatic and very charming. And I think that like she really sells what she's saying. I think she's going to be really fun in the diary room. My concern is, will that translate to her like interacting with other people in the house? Like, will she fit in with these people? Because I see her as somebody who is like so confident in herself, so funny. And I think that if she meshes with these people, that will be really good. She'll do really well. But if she doesn't fit in with them, she doesn't strike me as the kind of person that like tries super hard to fit in. And that could be really bad for her if she doesn't. So I'm a little worried in that sense. I think I like her a lot, but I do think there's a lot of variance here in how she might actually do, depending on how she fits in with the other people.
Yeah, that was the thing that I caught on to too. I never really thought too much about whether or not it would be to her detriment. But that's a good point. But I initially, for me, when I was listening or watching her interview, I was like, oh yeah, this is somebody that I know that I would gravitate towards in the house. This is somebody that I know is kind of like, what you see is what you get. She seems very much just like, just there, just in it, just talking to just let you know who she is. And it just feels very magnanimous to me.
Yes.
And
Aman, have you had your aura painted?
I have not had my aura painted, but she could paint it. She could paint it. I would love to. I would love to know what it looks like.
She could use that to her advantage in the game. Like, I feel like just being like, oh yeah, your aura, like that person's aura is like so bad.
I thought so
like,
too, but she wants to hide it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I saw your guys' cast reaction, and I feel like that you guys mentioned this, that like I feel like this is something she'll say like on day one. So someone has like a secret she's revealing. Like she'll pull someone aside and be like, just so you know, I read auras, and your aura was so good. Like I feel like
you have a top half aura.
Immediate final two with the aura. I could see that as well, Melissa.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
What?
Is I feel like she could be like, "This is how we connect."
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like I don't feel like she's gonna. I don't think she's keeping this a secret the whole time.
Upon first glance, I was like, "Oh no, this is someone who's just not gonna like. This is someone who's out week 2." And then, like, the more you heard her speak, I was like, "This person is incredible. I want her there the whole way." And she was in my top half for sure. The only thing that I have knocked points against her is this concern with the BB blockbuster. I think Ava's someone who can definitely find herself on that block. The target wins, Ava's collateral damage. Like I could see something like that happening, but I truly do trust what I'm seeing from her as far as like character to like make friends, influence people, and hopefully gel well. As long as she gels well with this cast, I'm not concerned for Ava at all.
Although she did mention having like a signature hat, and I'm concerned it's this hat. And
why? What's wrong with this hat? What's wrong with this hat?
I just
how could it not be this hat?
But yeah, that's what I mean. Is that this hat is probably a staple, and to me, like it certainly says a lot, and so I would be.
It's a bad hat, Melissa?
I never said that. Like you said,
it sounded like.
The dogs did not like that.
Yeah, dogs bark if Melissa's saying it's a bad hat.
Yeah, I do. It's interesting. Yeah. I do wonder how much of the aura thing is going to actually play a big role in her role in the house, because you did have like back during BB20, you had
Caitlyn
Rockstar who was cast as the pagan witch, and you also had Caitlyn who was perceived as this person who was like your life coach and life guru and could read people and all this. And then I was like, oh, so how are these two going to interact? In the very first episode, you see them talking about Sage, and then it became clear that production was far more interested in Caitlyn being the one that was giving the wacky edit more than Rockstar. And so Rockstar kind of just, that part of her personality, or as it were, kind of just faded away. But now that there really isn't that much competition for that slot this summer, I'm like, does she go all the way and she gives Caitlyn down, or is it sort of just like a nice little quirk that she mentions from time to time and it doesn't really impede her socially? So I don't know. I'm interested. I feel like regardless of it, I feel like her personality, no matter what her profession is, I feel like that's what speaks the most to me during a lot of the interview.
All right. There is Ava. Now we go back to real Aman. Real Aman
Oh, wow.
gets to
So-
make second pick.
Oh boy.
Just for
As
some
Morgan and
intrigue,
not me.
Taran, how many top halfers do you have left?
I have 3 left.
3
Oh,
top halfers. Taran
amazing.
is
I'm locked in.
You're
assured to
done.
get
Yeah.
2 of the top halfers. Okay.
Damn. Okay. I don't. Okay.
Aman, can I say something? You won't get mad at me?
Why are you always every damn year? It's you.
Let him
that
say
says-
something.
Fine.
Sock Aman did a good impression of you making a draft pick earlier.
It was very accurate.
But you say you won't get mad at me, so we're cool.
I mean, listen, let's throw a timer up. Let's see.
Like the NBA draft, put him on the clock.
Aman, you're doing great. Take as much time as you need.
Thank you.
Oh, I
Rob.
wouldn't replace it for the world. I love it.
Welcome back, Rob.
Yeah.
I missed
This is I live for the intrigue of what is Aman going to do. It'd be so boring if he just ran up and made the pick.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. Ooh, do I?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Okay. I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just so afraid that I think Taran and I might be thinking similarly in the fact that he's saying that he has 3 people left. I'm like, okay, well, damn.
Could be a bluff.
It could be a bluff. It could be a bluff. Okay, I am going to go. I'm gonna go with Jimmy. I'm gonna go with Jimmy. I'm gonna go with Jimmy. I'm gonna go with the evil gay.
Jimmy was somebody I was thinking about with my pick, but it was a little bit off my board. I didn't have him quite as high as Catherine.
He is giving sniveling, okay? He's giving Jafar, he's giving Scar, he's giving every queer-coded animated villain that there ever existed to me. And I live for it. I feel like he's going to be very exciting. I feel like he's going to be very just like a matter of fact about a lot of what's going on in the house, which can be kind of scary, but I do think that I think it's an attractive thing that I think it garners friendships fairly easily at the beginning. Again, I feel like a lot of the critiques that I'm having are kind of resting around the same apprehension as to whether or not what I consider to be their strengths is going to be too much, or if they're going to ride that sweet spot in the middle. But I really enjoyed a lot of the things that he had to say. I just enjoyed like the general flair that he had during a lot of his interviews as well. And I'm excited. I'm scared and nervous for him, but I'm excited nonetheless. And I remember I chose Michael back during BB24, and I was like, damn, I really feel like he has a binder and everything. He's prepared for this. He's gonna do well in these comps. And then he did too damn well in the comp. So I'm just hoping that this time around is a little bit more measured. Okay.
Jimmy is my pick for the diary room yeller of the season.
Oh, yes. Safe bet. I agree with you. I'll put
But I
some
feel
down
like he's
as well.
going to be really funny. Like, I like to comment about Zingbot being a sassy little Roomba. I thought that was really funny. And I feel like he's like, my concern, I guess, is that like, he keeps talking about how he's a villain and how like his friends say he's actually nicer than he thinks he is. And so like, I don't know what that exactly means. Like, cause that's real life. Like, it's like, he thinks he's not very nice. I don't know. I'm worried that I hope it's that he's like evil, quote unquote, in like a fun way, like a villain in a fun way,
Yes.
and not just like a villain. And so if he's a villain in a fun way, like I'm going to absolutely love him. But I feel like I'm nervous about him because I could see it going the other way. And I really hope that's not the case. But yeah, he seems like he's going to be really fun to watch. So
Yeah, that part about what his friends thought of him stuck out to me too, Melissa, because I was like, okay, so what is it? Is it that you're actually pretty nice and you have like this sort of like cold veneer, or are you actually horrible and you're telling your friends, I'm nice, right?
yeah.
Yes. like which is it? So I'm like, I feel like it's the former. I one other answer that I really appreciated was that he was like, I think Mike asked how are you going to crush your enemies, and he was like, I'm just going to be friends with them and then throw their ass right up on the block. I was just like, you know what, sign me up, I'm here for it. So let's see what happens. I'm excited.
What do you think of his threesome strategy that he wants to work in?
He's a triplet.
Hey, I'm all for it. I've never had
3 tickets to Challengers, please.
Aman, what was that? Aman, can I run it back?
Aman?
Run it back, Aman.
What?
I sneezed.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh,
Right.
me and Melissa heard it.
I heard it.
Yeah.
I certainly
I like
heard it.
Jimmy. I like Jimmy. Jimmy.
Top halfer?
Not only was he a top happer, he was my number 2. I almost got my number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Coming all the way back to me.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
He does, though. My concern about Jimmy, he gives me Nick Uhas, actually.
Mm.
Oh,
Which is a little concerning. Just the way that he started talking about his threesome strategy. And like all of the different variations of like alliances he was going to do. I was like, I feel like I'm listening to Nick Uhas preseason of Big Brother 15 again. And it could definitely go that way. But I think there's also a lot of upside.
All right.
That's it.
Jimmy, the AI consultant. All right. Taran, you have 2 top halfers left.
2 top halfers. I'm going to pick 1 top halfer and then we'll talk about my options because I could get a little wild.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The first pick I'm gonna make is Lauren.
yes.
Lauren. Yep.
Damn it. That was going to be my
Great
third.
That was I
You
had her
should've taken
as the
Lauren
top
on.
halfer too.
The bridal consultant.
Mm-hmm.
You know me, I'm always looking for people who know the show. She knows the show. I like that a lot. She was very charming. She was in her interview. And again, though, she's a little bit young. She's 22. But she's definitely physical enough to be able to do well. I believe she is she the dancer?
I didn't see that.
I don't remember her talking about
Somebody
dancing, but
somebody
I
told
could-
me maybe that she was a dancer. I'm not sure. But
Taran,
she
did you hear about
she's not the
Lauren?
dancer. Who's the dancer? I forget.
Oh, it was Ashley
Ashley.
was on the competitive dance. I just Control F on the.
Mm.
was your first pick,
Well,
right?
Yeah, also on your team. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so you still got the
Oh.
dancer, Taran. It's
Mhm.
okay.
yeah.
Taran's already combining all his picks into one to create the ultimate.
Taran's
ultimate
Angels
winner.
coming together.
No.
I really do want a team that has capable athletic people. That's definitely a plus. So I'm very happy to have Lauren. I think knowledge of the game is going to be big as well. At this point, it seems like my team is kind of banking on the younger people doing better this season. So if that happens, I think she'll be in a decent spot. I think that people will underestimate her, as they often say.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she seems very sweet. She seems very charming. I love the fact that she is a Keisha's birthday connoisseur. Anybody that is a Keisha's birthday connoisseur, you have a friend in me because we can whisper sweet Keisha's birthday nothings into each other's ears all day long. Okay, so I love that. But I am a little afraid because she does feel like are you gonna be? I don't know. Cause a little bit of it is like giving me a little bit of Annalise from B21. Just a smidge, and so I'm hoping that she's a little bit more like she shows a little bit more agency than Annalise did. But as like you said, as someone who is a big fan of the show and does know it pretty well, and is athletic, I'm like, I think that's good. So I think it's a good pick.
Okay.
Yeah, I like her. I said seems just normal. That was in my notes, and like that, she seems very normal. And I feel like people could get along with her. I also did like that she said she's a fan of the show. and that she's been watching with her family for years. So I feel like that automatically, I feel like, gives someone a leg up if they at least understand the show. And she says she's competitive. So I do think she could do well. And she seemed very like regular. She didn't seem like, oh, she's trying to stand out in one way or another. And I feel like that's good for her in the game, is that she'll kind of blend into the background. So yeah, I don't know. I liked her, but yeah, it's just one of those things where we'll have to see.
Okay.
There's the last thing I'll say is that I feel like she has a lot of good traits for the show. Being an observer is great. Being athletic is great. Everything is top tier. The only reason why I didn't pick her when I could have in the beginning of the second round was the age factor. I think she's just for a winning draft, 22 feels very low, but at this point in the draft, it's a steal.
Yeah, can we kind of talk about like I don't know if you guys mentioned it already, but like the aging seems to be going up and up and up and up as the years go by. Is that because like production is getting older and they're casting their peers? Like it feels like
their peers.
Because it feels like we went through a slew of seasons where the average age was like, like 20s, early 20s to mid 20s, like young 20 somethings that were all single and ready to mingle, very Love Island vibes, with a few smatterings of 30 and then like maybe like one older person, I should say. And now it feels like the average age just keeps rising over the past few years.
Is
and
the
like,
average age higher?
I think the average age actually isn't very high this season.
But I do agree with Aman. No, like I do feel like in the past it was like maybe not the average age, but I do feel like it used to just be like the majority of people were like under 25.
But
and
didn't
it was
we
like
not
Love
like
Island
that?
style.
No, we didn't.
I'm not.
No, and
it's
I
not
think,
a complaint. I
mean, my like quiet hope is that like production was listening to all the fans saying like we want older casts, and like we're maybe giving that to us. I don't know. Like that's what I'm hoping it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm perceiving it. I could be completely wrong. If somebody actually did the math, I could be way off. It just felt that way to me. It felt like a talking point over the past couple of seasons for us in particular on the podcast.
I do think that there's like a larger group of like 30s people in recent seasons. But they're still like, whereas in previous season, maybe you had like 2 people in their 30s and they were 2 of the older people in the house. But I do think the average age for this cast is actually a bit lower than it has been recently. There is a group of like 29 to 35 people. That's like around 5 of them. But the 22 to 25 year olds, there's like 7 of those. So there is still, and then if you add 27 year olds, there's another 2. So there is a good portion of this cast that is still very young.
Yeah, I feel like there has been though a trend of like older than previous, like, or at least to the point where like if I'm looking through the cast, I'm bound to find some people who are like in my age group, versus before it was like I would be the old lady of the cast if I was cast on the show, which is insane. Yeah. So like to me, it does feel older. I think like, yeah, there's still some like 23-year-olds and stuff in there, but it does feel like they've started casting more people in their 30s.
Which I am not mad about. I'm
happy about it.
Just like Memphis said back in BB21, this is why you throw 30-year-old men in the house together, because they go crazy. So I am all for an older cast. I think they are, as we've all been saying over the past few years, that you're just less inhibited. You don't care as much what other people think, and you're just more willing to take risks. So it's not a complaint by any means.
Maggie Morgan just made a video on the YouTube channel that, hey, cast more older house guests.
As an example, Big Brother 16 had 3 people in their 30s. It was Frankie, Derek, and Jocasta. Derek was 30, and they were like the older people in the house.
What about Donnie?
Obviously Donnie was there, but he was only 42 also. Like, so
that's
the rest of the people
wild.
were in the 20s.
When you think about the idea that Derek was aging himself down by putting on a hoodie and he was 30 years old. Like that is
putting on a hoodie and wearing a beanie, and he tried to
I couldn't
trying to run around with Cody. I was like, if you don't take your ass on.
I did the Big Brother retrospective thing of that, and I like was shocked to see that like I was I'm like basically 10 years older than Devin. Like, that's insane. I thought Devin was way older than me. Like,
Mhm.
I couldn't believe it. And like all the people who like Brittany and stuff on the cast, it was like, oh,
Brittany was
she's
29.
old. She's 29. I couldn't. They were all like, she's the old person of the house. Da, da, da. It was a very young cast, and at the time, like I fit right in because I was like what, like 24, 25? I don't remember, but like yeah, or no, 23.
Yeah, so Derek wore a
Anyway, I was right in
beanie
the
so
middle.
people would think that he was younger. Now
Yeah.
we have people like Vince wears a beanie so people think he's poor.
I'm hiding.
Same thing, right?
Damn.
Oh boy.
It's like, hey, I definitely am not a trust fund person. Look at my
Evolution
hat.
of the beanie.
I
Yeah.
can't shave my mustache.
Look at my hat. Look at my mustache.
This is my signature hat. Okay.
All right. I have another
Taran,
pick.
pick number
gamble it?
11. We're in the final, dreaded third round where crazy draft picks happen and Big Brother podcast history is made. Round number 3.
Really, any pick I make at this point is a little wild, even if I stick to my list here, because obviously I've got another top halfer, but she was one of the weaker top halfers. I've got a mystery box that I could still open. A lot of people are saying Rachel Riley. That would be fun. I would love to have Rachel Riley on my draft team. But what if it's not Rachel? Or what if it's Rachel, but she's not actually there? What if she's Scaramucci 2.0?
Right.
So that's a little scary. Then, I could just go like down to one of the, I could do like a Zay, you know what I mean? Like a young gun who's just going to be winning comps. You know what I mean? I could grab one of those for my team. So I'm a little torn, but I think ultimately I'm going to stick to my, this was a tale of two halves, and I'm going to stick to my halves. So I will choose Kelly. My third pick. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Taran, tell us about Kelly Jorgensen.
I did not feel good about Kelly reading her interview. I did not really like her answers. However, I watched her interview and I liked her when she talked. I thought that she was very charming and charismatic. And I think that she could be a little bit of a sleeper pick. Could she also be a first boot? Maybe. I think that like Ava, she's somebody that like just might fit in really well and do well, or might just kind of crash and burn because she doesn't fit in. And I don't know. I just got a good vibe from her. There's not really much beyond that. I feel like if I were talking to her, I would enjoy talking to her, and so I just threw her into the top half.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm torn on her because, and this could just be like the way that she was doing the interview, but it seemed like a lot of the stuff that she was saying about herself was like negative for the house, like for being in the house and competing. Like she
that's
said,
why I didn't like what she actually said.
Right, exactly. It was like she said she's just excited to make friends. She's not super competitive and she's super clumsy. She said that she does not want to be a villain and that something will have gone horribly wrong if people consider her a villain, which to me, like that reads as like she just wants to like have fun and just be nice and stuff and doesn't really have the competitive, like cutthroat nature that you necessarily need to play the game. And so to me, I just don't know if she has like the strategy to back up like anything. I don't know. I just feel like I'm a little worried about her that like she just seems to be wanting to just like have fun and make friends and not necessarily play the game. I don't even know if she like knows the game. I hope that this is like, I hope she's just being self-deprecating or whatever, and that she actually is like really good or whatever. But it's hard to say from what she said in the interview.
For me, she was one who mentioned she wanted to lay low in the beginning of the game for the first bit, and I was like, a lot of other archetypes that works for them. This is the worst archetype to do this, especially again with the BB blockbuster. I don't love this. I could see Kelly being on an island. They're like, just throw up Kelly. You don't know who to put up. Kelly can be the third one. Put her up there. Also, Taran, I see what you're doing. You've drafted a team of 2 people who have dance backgrounds, and the one person who said, I'm making people have dance parties whether they like it or not. So a lot of movement on Team Taran. Yeah, a lot of dancing.
Taran's dance team. Taran's Angels.
How old is Kelly?
This was like I said, I picked 2. I think I picked 2 very strong candidates, and then with the third one, I could have gone gamble. I could have gone like just pure comps, or go on vibes, and I decided I'm in for vibes.
We take vibes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean I like Kelly, kind of similarly to how Melissa felt about Lauren. She just seemed, or was it the other lead girl? I forget.
It was Lauren.
Whenever you said that, whoever felt normal to you, she felt kind of just normal to me, just sort of, just there. It does feel like she might be a little naive as to exactly what it is she's getting herself into. She's come from a very small town. She said that she literally has been in school with the same people from kindergarten all the way up until senior year, a class of 64. They stayed in the same building for 13 years. And she's talking about being very good at communal living. And then she stayed in hostels and traveled all over the place. I'm like, this girl is clearly someone who wants to be adventurous and likes to be around people. So like, that's a plus. But I do wonder, people that are from small towns and have sheltered upbringings often only see things one way. And so I do wonder, whereas Keanu is someone who is really good with lateral thinking. Is Kelly Jorgensen someone that's really good with lateral thinking? I don't know, but I'm excited to see. And she was definitely somewhere on my list. I'm getting a lot of visual cues of Christine from BB16.
Yeah.
And we all thought that Christine was like a pretty strong competitor going into it. And then, how the mighty had fallen throughout her time in the season. So, like, I don't know. It's like she feels like she could really go anywhere. She could be someone that
she loves to go anywhere.
Yeah. We open those feeds and we see her like running the house. And we'd all be shocked. And then after watching her for a couple of days, you're like, I know exactly why she's winning the house. Or she could be exactly what we're getting from interviews. And she's kind of just like quiet little mouse. Just, just getting in when she can. Like, and that's what it is.
I understand what you're saying about the small town upbringing, like small schools, same people all the way through. But when you've been to 42 countries and like you've done the hostel style of living where you're kind of like out of a backpack amongst like people around your age, but like they're all coming from different worlds, I feel like that's really good for learning. I'm actually like coming around maybe because I think that's a huge strength. But also, first of all, question. Why would you say you've been to 42 countries, all 50 states, and then half of Mexico? Would Mexico just be part of the countries you've already mentioned? That was confusing to me. But then the weakness that I don't like is comps, which fair, but also comps, historically becoming more and more important in this back end of Survivor. Big Brother, dear Lord. But then also, you're not super competitive. I feel like I don't like that. You got to be a little bit competitive to get what you want in this game sometimes.
Okay. There's Kelly. Aman. It's round 3. We've had so many classic Aman round 3 moments as Aman rounds out his team. So many great picks are left, Aman, but you only get 1.
I feel like I only got 2 because I was gone for the first one and freaking suck, Aman.
Number 1 pick.
You have Morgan.
I know, but I didn't get to revel in it because I didn't do it. I wasn't here for it, and now I feel like I'm like there's so much pressure. Why am I on full screen? Oh God.
Okay.
You cannot be this conflicted, Aman. Tell us your thoughts. Share with us.
Guys, I want to kind of go crazy right now.
Oh.
I just don't know which
How crazy?
side of crazy I want to be on. Because there's one person that I know is going to... People already have certain pre-notions about him, given his background, given the way he talks, given some of the things we've seen on social media, given, his religious background. People kind of come into... But I kind of want to give that person a chance because, just because they come from that side of the tracks doesn't necessarily mean that other things that typically come from that side of the tracks are on his tracks.
Yeah.
And he could be a pretty decent player. You never know. And America tends to like these kinds of people, so any kinds of favors that America can get, you know. But then I also kind of want to go for the guy that is such a tryhard.
Also do it.
Because I relate to tryhards in a way. I consider myself a bit of a tryhard. I like trying. So it's just like, and then the other three are kind of just like,
okay.
I mean, I think we all know exactly which two you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay. I am going to. Oh, God damn it! I'm going to go with Adrian. I'm going to go with Adrian.
Yo, Adrian. Aman has just picked you. Happy Wall Comp Wednesday, everybody.
Woo!
That was a classic case of like teasing with an even worse decision to make the alternative look a lot better.
I was like, if he picks Riley, I'm going to let him have it. Like, come on.
I mean, I still feel like we're passing such judgment on Riley before we get the real chance to know him. But you know what?
We'll talk about him after.
I'm going to give it to Adrian because, I mean, come on. The guy built a wall comp. Like,
it's Wall Comp Wednesday today.
Yeah.
He built the damn wall comp. And I know that that's a lot. I know that it's giving very much cringe. I know that he has the capacity to really just work our nerves all summer. But one of the things that I appreciate the most about anybody, not even just a Big Brother, but in life, is passion. When somebody really, really, really cares about something and really, really wants it, it's like one of the best feelings in the world to have. And I just feel like no matter what, you really cannot go wrong. Even if he is to flame out, at least he did his big one and he had a good time, hopefully. And that is what I'm ready to watch him do.
Yeah, for anybody that's giving Aman any crap about this, how can you fault Aman for picking a guy who's the greatest Big Brother player of all time?
The GOAT.
True.
He hasn't even played yet. That's how good he is.
Point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be the best to ever do it.
And you know what? And he could very well be. You know, you just never know. You never know. And I am far more happy to choose someone that I know is going to give it their all. I'd rather you give too much and be humbled than not give enough. And then have to throw you in the oven for.
And this was a perfect pick because what is Adrian's secret talent that he's going to show people? He loves to pick things up with his feet. Sock Aman, this one's for you.
Yes, it all comes full circle. Yep.
I feel like he was going to be my pick coming up next. So he was going to be my pick and I was going to be like, okay, I know this is crazy, but you got to do that instead. So I do feel like he could go either way. Number one, I think he was like really nervous for his interview because he seemed really unsure of himself. He was like repeating things over and over. He was like messing up his words and being like, sorry. And I feel like in the house, he might just be like a totally different person. I feel like we see this all the time with like somebody who's like talking themselves up. We've got like Kevin Jacobs and stuff who we saw his videos and we were like, no, thank you. And then he was amazing. Well, yeah, you on the other hand, but like, you know what I mean? Like you see the video and you're like, oh, this guy thinks he's so great. And then they go in the house and they're just like, not like that. Zach Rants or whatever. You saw he played up the persona and everything, but like he was really fun to watch. And I saw his preseason interviews at the time and I was like, no, thank you. And then I loved Zach. So I do feel like his interview was not good, obviously. It first of all, like it was just so outrageous, the things he was saying, but also did not instill any confidence in me that he actually like would be a good player. So it was like he kept trying to assure us that he was like amazing and the greatest of all time and all this other stuff. And it's like, I don't believe for 1 second that you're like, I mean, he kept saying strategical and like it was like this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But I think he was just really nervous. And I think that he was trying to like put on that casting persona of like, I'm the best, I'm amazing. And I don't feel like he's just going to walk into the house and be like, guys, I'm the best. So I don't think so, no. I do think that like he could be.
That would be a mistake if he did, I think.
That would probably be a mistake.
Guys, can you believe that Melissa bought the act that I was nervous in my interview? Oh my God. Already crushing them. That's what's happening right now. I'm that strategical. I'm the social assassin.
I was really ready to get, because I'm a logophile. I love words. And I was ready to be like, oh my God, he is turning strategical into the new casted. But it turns out strategical is actually a word. It is just simply archaic and it's not used very often. But it is indeed a word.
I would bet 100
I do think Adrian has upside. I think the upside is that he's actually a bit shy when not in an interview format. And that he comes off as lovably awkward and, keeps to himself the Joseph-esque, I'm the best player of all time portion of his personality. I think that if those things happen, I think there's actually plenty of upside for Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. So
I think he over prepared for the exam and is probably going to flame out in the first half. But I think that there'll be a friend, there'll be a study partner that will come and calm him down and help him out to finish strong. That is my prediction for Adrian's game.
I think it's also possible that like all the stuff he was saying in the interview was just like braggadocious stuff and wasn't actually legit. Like I don't know if I believe the whole wall comp thing.
Excuse me, I've seen photos.
No, I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe he built one or whatever. I just don't believe like he's been training for this for like his like years and years. I feel like maybe like a few months ago when he's like, yeah, I'm going to apply. Like I'll build a wall, like whatever. I just think, I don't know. I feel like a lot of it was like big advertising for the casting agents. Like this is my selling, I'm selling myself to you guys. And I don't know if I really believe that.
I feel like you are, if there were 15 people like you in the house, Melissa, Adrian wins the season.
Why is that? Because he's got Melissa snowed.
I think Melissa's buying what he's selling. I understand though, like Kevin Jacobs really opened everyone's eyes to these videos mean nothing. These interviews mean nothing. They really don't, especially when we're drafting blind. Like they really mean nothing. But I just felt like this is someone who, yes, I agree with Aman. This is someone who's a fan of the show. And at the end of the day, I want you to have the experience you want, right? I want you to enjoy every bit of it. You're on the show you love. Amazing. I think he overcooked. I think he's overcooked. I think he's overthought this. And I think he can get in his own way, because I think otherwise he can do fine. He really can. It just comes down to, and we're not going to see this till Sunday, but when feeds come on, we'll find out. We can temp check and know exactly what the rest of his route looks like, because he could have either damned himself out the gate, or he's in a very good spot and he was mellow out the gate and now he's going to like be fine. So we'll see.
Yeah. Maybe he'll get his feet under him.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Put his socks on, maybe.
Yeah, put his socks on. All right, there's Adrian. Okay. So, Taran rounded out his team. He's got Ashley. He has Lauren. He has Kelly. And Aman has Morgan and Jimmy and Adrian. Now, Melissa, who made the draft order tonight, it's your turn to round out your team.
This has been so bad.
What? What's been bad?
Melissa, when has it been good?
Never really. I would say that every time, though. But I
You
will
won
say,
the
okay,
last draft.
last year's draft was pretty good because I got Tucker and I got Chelsea, and then I got Angela, which like okay, that was like kind of fun.
You got the whole poster.
That was
I
the
had-
poster team, yeah.
I see. I had a good job last year, but this year is just not it. Look, watch
Okay.
me win again. Watch
Just to
me win
remind
again.
people, Melissa has Zach and Ava.
Okay. See, I was like, I went through and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go with Adrian for my
Mhm.
next pick, and I'm like sure he's not gonna get picked, so I might as well just like rely on that. Well, he got picked, so now I'm like a little bit at a loss. Now I have somebody who's in the top half of my draft
Yeah.
still.
Can I
Hell
give,
yeah.
just for the audience, so the house guests that are remaining in alphabetical order are Amy, Riley, Will, Zay, and then the mystery box.
Zistery box. No.
So
Yes, that was not, the mystery box was out of alphabetical order.
I feel like I've got, so I have somebody left who I liked his interview at the time, but then I got worried because it's like, okay, this person usually doesn't stand a chance, and I don't know if they'll get along with other people in the house, and like
Okay.
maybe it's just not going to work out for them. So I got a little like a cold feet on this one, and I was like, maybe I should just go with like another
awesome.
sort of classic pick. But
Classic.
I think I'll go with my initial gut and pick the person who it was up there because of his interview, and just stick with it. So I'm gonna go with Will.
Will. Captain Will.
I liked his
Captain.
interview. I liked that it seemed like he would get along with the other people in the house, and he didn't read to me as like older guy. Like I don't know, he didn't really give off like dad energy to me. So I feel like because he also is like a podcaster and things like that, like maybe he like can relate to like younger people.
That can happen.
That can certainly happen.
That's a thing.
So I don't know. I felt like he seemed like an interesting enough guy. He said that he also had spent 22 years in the Army. So I feel like he's an athletic guy. And he said he likes to talk in a good way. And I feel like he could. Okay, Taran, don't stop with that smile. I don't know. I don't like that.
Why, Taran, you don't like the pick?
Who are you, Jeff Probst? I can't smile.
No, you can't smile like that. I say he likes to talk, and then the second I said in a good way, he turns like, okay, sure.
That's just
okay.
a funny thing to say. Oh, he likes to
Okay.
talk, but what is like to talk in a good way?
Whatever, Taran.
Fight,
Judgy.
fight.
He's judged every single one of my picks, Rob.
That's
I'm
I
calling
wasn't
on
even
Rob to
judging you.
get him.
That is
Rob,
kind
put
of what
Taran
he
in his
does,
place.
Melissa. I mean, it's a
This
little
is
late
not
to call that out.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is absolutely a pick where he might just like immediately be singled out as like, he's the old guy, get him out. And like, yeah, sure, that could happen. But I feel like recently we've seen the older person do fairly well and like fit in with the other people. And I think this could go
DJ
either
Showtime
way.
was around for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna go with him, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I like Will.
I did like Will. Yeah, I thought he was, especially
Sure he
listening
did.
to
Sure.
your interview.
Was he in the top half or the bottom half, Taran?
He was in the bottom half, and it's purely because of his age, honestly.
Mhm.
But you picked him in the bottom half, so it's like, I think we agree.
He was
Actually,
in my top half, actually.
well, you didn't pick him in the top half, though.
I didn't have the opportunity, Taran.
She had too
Well,
many
you
other
did
people that
control
were
the
ahead
draft
of them.
order.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. But I think that Will is a decent pick here. For again, there's not many bad picks here. 13 picks into a draft of 17 people. And so Will, I think, is one of the best options that was on the board still. And he's going to be, I think, fun. He seems a very sensible person. He doesn't seem like he's a maniac. It seems like he's given a lot of thought to how to play the game. I did think he talked about how that for Halloween last year, he was a pimp.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
God.
guess we're not cutting anything.
Damn, not a pimp in today's economy.
Yeah, really.
I felt really good about Will. He was fun, and I was like, you know what? We've had some truly awful older men that have been on the cast that have not delivered. And immediately, like Will talking about like, you know what you signed up for. You're not going home. Like, you don't miss your family. I'm not trying to do any of that. I was like, the Kenny slander, I'm in already. That's already great for me. I'm very optimistic on Will. I definitely think socially, I think he'll give younger than his age. It just comes down to, will he be treated as such or not? That could end up being the divider. But I think otherwise, I think he's going to be fun.
Yeah, he's really gonna have to, because Pooya keeps bringing up like the blockbuster, which is a very good point, because like I think he's another one that can really easily be, just throw Will up there. So I think he's really gonna have to assert himself as like a core member of whatever the power structure is going to be early on, so that does not happen. And I think that obviously being older can hinder. But if you play your cards right, if you win the first HOH, like there's a way for him to sort of like get in good while it's hot, and then stay in that position. I'm just hoping that like with the Kenny slander that he is sort of like he's all about the game. He wants to come in. He said this has been a cherry on top type thing for him for a long time. So all right, get in there and let's go. I want to see it happen.
Did I tell you all that I met Sweet Kenny K this spring?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us more. No, you did not.
I went to Luigi's Pizza in Boston, and I was like, I recognize this guy. Where is he from? Eventually, I pieced it together.
Oh my God.
It was Sweet Kenny K hanging out at Luigi's Pizza.
Was he drinking squirt?
Right. I didn't check if he had pineapple pizza, or I didn't check to see if he was drinking squirt. But then he said, "Hey, I appreciate, follow me on social." I'm like Kenny, nobody is making better content than you.
I live.
Yeah. So I think Will's going to be very fun. I think that he's going to be normal. I think that he is going, he may be trying to play a little too hard, too fast. He may want to come in. I have my agenda. Yeah.
Play hard as because again, the thing for Will that is brutal is that we just talked about it. Nearly half the cast is less than half his age.
Right.
That's tough when competitions are super physical, or when competitions are super physical, and B, the whole game is about fitting in with people. It's just going to be, he's playing the game on a harder difficulty than at least half the cast.
Yeah.
And so he has to be that much better to do as well as them. So I hope he is, and I hope he does try hard and play hard.
All right. There he is. Captain Will rounds out Melissa's team with Zach and Ava and Will. Okay. And now, yes?
One last thing. I also really liked Will's starting five strategy of, he wants his basketball team put together, 2 men, 2 women. It's very much like he's trying to cast his own show on the side of 5 people. So can he get them? I don't know, but I like that he's thinking that way. I feel like, I like someone that can think that way.
Okay. All right. I have the 14th pick.
Here we go.
And Rob. I am very excited. Okay. Pooya, what is the theme of the Big Brother 27 season?
It's mystery. We're talking about
Hotel Mystere, they call it. And so I think it would be quite apropos to take the mystery box. Give me the 17th house guest.
Damn it, Rob. You're running it back? Run it
back, baby. But this time with that with the third round. Come on. How could
Now
I
it's a
not?
good spot.
I could have Rachel Riley.
Yeah, that's true.
You could listen. You could also have nothing, but
I could have
do
nothing.
think in the spot you're in. That's not a bad way to go here.
It's like, I could have nothing, or I could have Riley. Which is it? And I
Riley,
debated
Rachel,
between
right?
Zay.
Not Riley, Cowboy.
Right. Yeah. I could have Rachel Riley or real Riley. I could have Zay. Zay, I think, would be interesting. I think Zay is not nothing. And I wouldn't be necessarily disappointed if I had Zay, but if I could have the mystery house guest here, how could I not do this?
There's way too much upside for this pick to not choose it at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
It could be a flopperoonie, or it could be like, hey, it's like an all-time legend.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there are too many money-hungry people in this cast for them to ever let someone who may have already win again. But I'm also kind of more of the side that, like, this person probably won't end up being a house guest, like, for real. So, like,
Aman, what's your theory? What do you think it is? We haven't heard from you about this.
Based off of what I'm seeing, I think I agree with everybody else that Miss Rachel Riley is about to pop back up in that house again and get swiftly murdered.
Can we just talk about that for a second? Because this has become the running theory. Everyone now is really starting to suspect that it is Rachel Riley.
So much so that, like, major outlets are picking up on it as well and writing stories.
Right. Now,
why? Where did that come from?
For many reasons. One of them is that a lot of, like, the clues that were released, all people think they can all point to Rachel. All the different numbers add up to different, like, Rachel numbers, and so on and so forth. Nobody seems to be able to get a hold of Rachel, and so there's a lot of things pointing at Rachel right now. I think the thing that goes against it is Julie saying that she was shocked that they got this person, and that the person is very polarizing. I don't think that fits Rachel in almost any way.
I think Rachel can be polarizing.
Oh,
she's shocked that you could get her. Rachel was willing to play when she was
exactly
like she was.
Rachel was dying to play All Stars,
but maybe Julie was shocked. That doesn't mean necessarily
how much
shocking.
does Julie really know what's going on? She could be shocked at anything. She could be shocked at her damn.
So I don't know. I'm not convinced that it's Rachel, but it's gotten to the point where I have been thinking about it being Rachel, like, for the last day or so, and I'm like, and I just had a moment today where I was like, what if it's Rachel? That would be so fun. And now I'm going to be disappointed if it's not Rachel.
Right. And I think that's the thing. The thing for me is that I feel like I'm in both camps of they've promoted it so much. Like, there's so many clues. They keep saying 17th house guest, 17th house guest. Either it is very much a 17th house guest, or they're running the gambit back from last year. They've just convinced us that this time it's real. And it is someone who's just going to get taken away immediately. Because, Rob, the theme of the season, to your point, Hotel Mystere. Someone dies night one of Hotel Mystere, similar to a White Lotus, similar to a whodunit. And then
it's
the
Mike
rest
White.
of the pre-jury, the rest of the pre-jury is, hey, here are the clues you need to figure out to find out what happened to the mystery house guest that did die night one. So it's like, which of these keys will open this door and which of these handles will do this and find the room that has a power in it. I think that fits for me a lot more. But to Taran's point, I've been thinking more and more about it being Rachel or being somebody who I'm keen to see. And I'm like, I would love to see that. It'd be fun.
But they could get somebody good. Like, wouldn't that help the ratings? Did they actually have somebody interesting as the mystery house guest?
Who's actually interesting is the problem. They know who's actually interesting.
Do we really think they're playing? We don't think they're actually playing, though, right?
Well,
I'm leaning more and more toward yes. They're hyping it up so much. I mean, it wouldn't be the first, like, thing they did that I thought was a little silly, but, like, to hype it up this much, like, the Ainsley thing wasn't hyped up this much, I feel.
But they hype up other things so much, and then they end up being nothing burgers. Like, the one thing that comes to mind the most that still pisses me off and burns my ass to this day is the whole hyping up Dr. Will as, like, the BB neighbor, and he came on his Speedos and went goodbye. Like, so I'm just like...
But they did actually produce a Dr. Will, you know what I mean? They didn't promise that he'd be a player.
Okay.
Did you see the article with all the shocked faces when the house guests have seen who the mysterious house guest is? Have you
Seems
seen
like
this?
somebody they
That weirds me out.
recognize.
It
Yeah.
looked like they were
Yeah.
still looking at the TV screen though, and not an actual person. At least
That actually made me think like maybe they're all shocked because not because of who it was, but because the person died.
What happened?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which would then be my theory.
Look, this is a great pick. 17th house guest, baby. Come on, Kelly Wentworth. You bring it home.
Hey, I'm not like a piece of me is like not mad about a potential returnee season, but then I say that now, and then we always complain at the end of the day. So
It could be a Survivor. We could get Shannon watching Big Brother 27.
Ooh.
Oh,
I feel
yay.
like
Shannon.
the house guest, the photos of the house guest looking shocked, like to me, that read as like them being like, Julie saying something like, and we might have a 17th house guest or a mystery house guest. Like not even like the reveal of like the person themselves. I
mean,
feel
she
like
could literally be saying, and there are granola bars in the fridge. And they'd be like, what?
Yeah, she could be like, oh, and there's something you guys
Granola?
don't know. And then like just on that information alone, they'd be like,
Mhm.
like they hype it up and they get up and stand up and like grab each other like, oh my God, can you believe this is happening? Even though it's like nothing, just because it's like, you're on TV, you're on Big Brother, like do it.
This twist, this theme, to me feels like I've been thinking who from that Traitors world, from the first 3 seasons, could we see be a night one in and out person? That's what I'm thinking we could end up seeing.
First 3 seasons.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
They wouldn't have known who was on the 4th one,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it was Rachel, would Janelle be as vocal as she has been over the past few days?
I do think it's an
Yeah,
oversell.
that is.
But Janelle's also really messy, so she probably could because she's been trying to walk it back recently too. So I could totally see production getting in her ass and be like, "Girl, if you don't take that shit down right now."
Historically, Big Brother fans have tried to read into what they thought were clues in Big Brother social media,
Totally
and
wrong.
historically, it has never actually meant anything.
Yeah.
Also, historically, whenever players try to act like they or their friends are on the cast, they never are.
Mm-hmm.
So historically there are some things going against it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
guess we'll
think
find
it's
out
Rachel
tomorrow.
Riley.
Yeah, Melissa, what do you think?
I don't think it's Rachel Riley, but I would love for it to be Rachel Riley.
How do you feel about Tucker or Angela?
No.
I would not be excited if it was Tucker or Angela, mainly because like they would just be returning. Like to me, that's not as exciting. I wouldn't see like someone I haven't seen in a while play.
Chemo.
No, I just would like to see someone I haven't seen in a while play. So, to me, I would like to see.
I'd be down for chemo just to have Angela on the podcast talking about chemo.
I want to see
Alright.
someone from the past play that we haven't seen in a while. And I kind of honestly would like to see someone play who we haven't seen play multiple times. Like, I mean, as much as I would love to see Rachel Riley play, it would be interesting to get someone back that we haven't seen at all. I don't know.
Okay. We'll see. Tomorrow night, we might, and they're gonna not even show us on Thursday.
This is such a Sunday
I'm
thing,
so
Rob.
excited for the premiere, but they're gonna give us the cliffhanger, and we're
Let's
not
be
gonna
ready
find out
mentally.
till Sunday.
Yeah,
Tune
you
in Sunday night to find out who is the Big Brother mystery house guest, and find out if they're going to be the new head of household.
Because if they would have shown it tomorrow night, then there's no reason why we do not get our feeds till Sunday. Why would we wait till Sunday otherwise? This is why. This makes sense to me. Yeah, Rob, get ready.
Get ready.
Oh no. Yeah.
Get ready for takeover. All right, there is one pick left, and it is Pooya. And Pooya, you have the choice of 3
Pooya.
people: Zay, Amy, and Riley. And then the audience will get 2 picks.
Yeah, here's the sad reality for the audience. You're getting Riley. Okay, so let's put that out there.
This is the
Riley's
easiest pick ever.
yours to take. So for me, it comes down to Zay and Amy. I genuinely thought I was going to end up with Adrian here just because like everyone else is going to be picked, or Mystery House Guest was what I was hoping for, Rob. But I felt like with you and I being so close in proximity, you were going to end up taking Mystery House Guest. So here's the thing. There are two people here. I'm making my pick on one aspect and one aspect only, and that is Taran. Remember back in the BB Can days, memorable days, good days. There was a house guest by the name of Hope, who talked constantly about being adaptable, being adapting, and had no idea what was going on in the game. And I was very high on the adapting process there, but we've learned our lesson. If you have no strategy behind it, if you're like, I have no strategy, I'm coming into this game and I'm going to wing it and I'm going to adapt. I'm good at adapting. We'll see. Being friends with someone who's been on one of these shows is good, especially when that friend did pretty decently on their show. I just don't see it for this man at all. I'm going to pick Amy. I'm picking Amy here. Yeah. Say, listen, athletic guy, could do well.
Damn.
It's just there was something about his interview also that I just did not vibe with.
Okay, well, let's talk about Zay and Riley separate, but let's talk about Amy. All right, Amy Bingham.
Amy here, listen, not gonna lie, did not ever imagine Amy being someone I'm picking in this draft. But I think Amy is someone who could be a gamble that works off. I think there's some potential there. Amy very much is both a girl's girl and a woman's woman. So she, just so you know, if you didn't know, now you know. I think that Amy is going to be looking for a woman's alliance. I think that's definitely possible. I don't think that is a bad thing. I think it all comes down to, are you going to vocalize it enough that some of these other people are going to hear about it and then target you as a result of it? But I don't know. I feel like there could be I'm curious because I watched her video twice as well. First time around, didn't really feel for it. Second time, there was something there. Can't quite put my finger on it though. So yeah.
Yeah, I think this is what I was talking about when I was like, I feel like her and Mickey could probably get something going because they seem to be sort of like on a similar wavelength, as far as like really rooting for the women in the house. And so like, yeah, I mean, I liked Amy's interview. I thought that she was fine. She did feel a little. It was shades of Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Just like, and there's nothing wrong with being a married mother. Like, there's nothing wrong with that's not where I'm going with that at all. We have one on the podcast. Hey, look, the baby is so beautiful. Oh my God. But I just sometimes I was just like, okay, but tell me a little bit more about how you feel about the game outside of that. What else are you going to be bringing to the table? And she did say some things in her defense. That's not all that she said, but sometimes when that's like the thing that you lead with, it gives me a little bit of pause because I'm like, oh no, like we've just had so many examples of it just never going the way that you want it to go. And not even to say that that's the reason that Brooklyn even went. Brooklyn went not even having anything to do with wanting to see.
Yeah, I was gonna say comparing to Brooklyn is actually kind of a good thing. I think Brooklyn is pretty good.
Right. And I'm just saying more so like from like the preseason aspect of it, that's kind of like where I am right now. So I really don't know what to think right now because it's just that answer to me is sort of like a dime a dozen answer that we've heard, not unlike many of the other stock answers that we've heard from many other players tonight. So we'll see. She seems very likable. I love the fact that she talked about how much she's going to miss her kids and everything. And it really, she has something to go back to. She has something to fight for, which I think gives people a little extra drive as opposed to someone who's just single and out here 30 plus, not knowing what the hell they're doing with their life. So I just think, I think that that's always a nice driving factor. And I think that she's generally likable. And I hope that she's able to find some women in the house that are on the same wavelength that she's on. I really do.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I liked her. I feel like, I just didn't get a lot from her in regards to like strategy or anything. And a lot of her answers were kind of just like, well, I don't really know how I'm going to do. I don't know. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do at the competitions. I'm a little nervous about that. And like things like that. And I get that it's like, okay, there's a spectrum where it's like, okay, you've got Adrian over here who's like, I'm going to do so well at everything. And then you also got her who's like, I just don't know how I'm going to do. It's like, there just really wasn't like a lot to go off of with that, like with those answers, number one. And number two, it just seems like she doesn't really know the show all that well. I think she was the one who said that her son was the fan, right? And he was telling her like, don't do this, that, or the other thing or whatever.
Don't get in a showman.
Don't get in a showmance.
Yeah. And so like, which is kind of funny, but
she should.
Oh, she should. But
Yeah.
I do think that like, it didn't seem like she knew the show. And honestly, like I'm a little like, I'm wondering because she didn't really give that much in her interview. I'm wondering like what drew casting to be like, we need her. And I think there's something there. It's just, she just didn't give that much in her interview. And so I'm interested to see what she has and what she will do. But it's like, it's just, I don't know. And that's kind of why she was kind of like a mystery to me. And that's why I didn't pick her. As well as the fact that like, she is like quote unquote an older house guest. And so it's like, you've always got that element of like, will they fit in? Will they mix with the rest of the cast? Like, we don't know.
Will they fit into the house? Find out Sunday.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Anything else on Amy?
Nah.
Nope.
Okay. All right. We still have to tell you about Zay, and we still have Riley to talk about.
Yes.
But before you turn off the podcast, let me just tell you,
Damn.
we have a lot coming your way over on Patreon this summer, where we are going to have for you not Zay, the Q&A, the Q&Z maybe, and the slop. We're going to bring you your chance to ask questions for me and Taran every single week on the Patreon Q&A, and then Chappelle and I will bring you the slop, and we can't even put it in the main feed because it gets too crazy. Riley could be a subject of the slop. Tune in on Tuesday for the season premiere of the slop. That's over on our Patreon. Go to robhasawebsite.com/patron for that. Okay. Now, all right, let's bring in our guys. Okay, first, bring them up, Zay. I should say your guy. Congratulations to the audience.
Yeah.
Zay is
Got
here
him.
for you.
That's not a bad get. I almost picked Dave like 5 picks ago.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
bad.
that was my other option from Will.
Zay's going to be fun.
Zay. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. It could go either way with him. I didn't like that he said, like, I'm just not going to think about strategy. And he doesn't seem to really care about the game at all. And then they said, like, why would you be a great house guest? And he said, people are going to watch me eat. I don't know why he said that, but like, that was weird. And then he said he doesn't think he can hold a lie up very well long term. And so that to me made it seem like he's not really going to be good at like, I feel like he's just going to be like, he reminds me kind of like of a Fessy kind of type where it's like, he's just not going to be like, we're going to be constantly like, but I don't know.
He gave me like an athletic Zach Rance.
Yeah.
I did not get Zach from him.
Now,
and I
Melissa,
know Zach.
Maybe when he says people are going to watch me eat, maybe he's talking about how he was going to play the game this season.
Oh, like he's going to be eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Didn't even think
with
about
the
that.
lingo, Melissa. We're older now.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To be fair, it was eat and then a list of other things that he would do in the house. But yeah.
Yeah. I think that you're onto something, though, that I don't think he will be bad. I think the question is, does he care?
Right. That's the thing is like, I just didn't get vibes that he cared at all. And so to me, I was like, I don't want to drop that person who doesn't care about the game, who doesn't care about like winning the game. Like, I don't know. It just didn't feel like he had any, like this could have been any show for him. Like it did not need to be Big Brother. And to me that like, I don't want to draft someone like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think he thinks he's playing Survivor.
Why? He can eat?
Genuinely. He was like, oh man, I've seen it before that people get targeted for doing sales. Like he's referencing Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
His friend is from Survivor. Like
yeah.
Who's his
And-
friend?
His friend
Sammy.
is Sammy from Survivor 43, who's also a big character, a big personality, very funny. And so I think that Zay is going to bring a lot of entertainment, but I don't think that he is necessarily serious about winning the game. That being said, Zay is your number one player,
The
audience.
best shot at a W, audience.
Because here we go. Let's bring him in. R is for
Yeah.
Riley. Oh, baby.
Oh.
You got him.
Riley. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit before the pod started. Taran and I were on the same page of Riley's interview gave PR disaster that he's cleaning up. It felt like he wanted to let you know that he is lovable. He loves everybody. He loves children. He loves people.
I love
does he?
every single person that I
Allegedly.
Rob.
Every
literally-
person?
He's like,
Every
I love
person,
every
Riley?
single person, even though I haven't met everyone in the world, but I love every single person. Like, you're
Every
so right.
person?
That does sound like he's trying to clean up some PR mess that we're
Like
about
what
to find out
happened
about.
before this interview, Melissa?
Right,
You know,
yeah.
right
At one point, he
before.
literally
Like, what do
says,
we not
I'm not
know?
a bad person. Just completely
Yeah.
unprompted. I'm not a bad person.
I'm not a perfect person.
What makes you say that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
That
is
out of the
super
blue.
Weird. That it was very suspicious how it seemed very disingenuous, like how he just kept talking about I just love everybody. You know what, I would love to win, but you know what, I would love anyone else to win too. It was every single thing. I don't know. He said he wants everyone to win. It was very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Please,
Aman, you were going to draft him.
Yeah, Aman, defend him, because after this, I would like for us to read everything he answered to the "Would you be open to a showmance?" Because what was happening there?
Okay. Okay. I agree
Oh.
that there were some things that were if you have to say it, then what's going on, right? But I also feel like over the years, so many country or southern players often lead with the same things that he's been leading with. And not all of these people that are country or southern have been bad players or, unpleasant people. And so from jump, I was just like, all right, let me just give him a shot. And I'm like,
I'm sorry, can you name those people? Because I am not
Yeah.
thinking of any of those people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that Whitney from BBOTT was particularly bad. I thought that she was a relatively sweet girl. I also thought that
Was she giving bad
Yeah.
in the preseason?
Who said
I
bad?
don't know.
no, but she had similar things to say, as in I'm all about family values. I love helping out kids. I like doing this. I like doing that. A lot of the same things that he said. So I'm just kind of like, are we just prejudging too harshly? Or is it I don't know. I just felt a little bad because as soon as I saw when I put out a tweet saying, "Hey, who should I draft tonight?" It was so much Riley hate. I was like, "God damn!"
Yeah.
So
We haven't
Aman,
even got a
Aman
chance.
just wants to give Riley some support.
right?
Now I did not. Now, Eric, you said that you wanted to read something about the showman thing.
Yes.
I did not get a chance to hear that question, so
Okay.
I could be missing a lot of crucial information.
It's just wild. First of all, in the showman's question for Zay literally said, "I do not think you're going to put a woman in here worth $750 for me to look at." So,
$750.
sorry, $750,000. $750,000. There was 1,000 in there. I missed a couple zeros. Okay, no, but Riley's is the complete opposite. Aman, would you like to hear it?
Sure.
What would you be open to a showman's? Love knows no boundaries, man. I mean, if a woman comes in and my heart sees what it sees and loves what it loves and feels what it feels, that's for time to tell. That's for the BB house to tell. I don't know what's going to step in that door. So I don't know what kind of women are going to be out there, but I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the same amount of genuine love and care. What I have to give, what I bring to the table, that's what I expect in return. I know nobody's perfect. I know not everybody's the same or whatnot, but just like me and just like you and just like everybody else out here in the world, they know what they deserve. They know what they want.
Okay, that's a long answer.
Yeah, it's a little lengthy, but horrible.
Yeah, the answer itself is like word salady and fine.
Yeah.
I think the question is but does he have
Like, yeah, is he
some
available?
entanglements outside of the house? Is that
The thing,
isn't that more of the concern?
I hear what Amon's saying though. Like, there is certainly a chance. Like, the thing about red flags is that they're just flags, right?
Mhm.
Like, they're indicating something, but it might not actually be that. There's just a lot of red flags.
Well, I think what Aman is saying, and tell me if I'm putting words in your mouth, Aman, is like, don't just like say, oh, we hate this guy because he has a Southern accent. Like, let's not. But
yeah, that's not it though.
I don't think that's the reason why people are
Like,
sour on
yeah.
Riley.
I mean, do we know if all those outside rumors are true? And because this reminds me of like the Turner situation where like
That's fair.
preseason we all had heard a bunch of stuff and we were all like, not this guy, like he's at the bottom of the draft, and then we ended up liking him for the most part. So I do feel like, and it ended up being
was
like
it
not
his
all
sister
accurate.
also?
Yeah.
Talking
It
smack
would
on
be-
socials, yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
and
took
so I
on
feel
Mr.
like-
Beast.
Yeah, that's the thing is
Yeah.
like I feel like, and now I feel like we're like not a fan of Mr.
God.
Beast. So I do feel
No,
like
Mr. Beast is great.
right. Yeah,
Here's
of
the
course.
thing.
Now I'm
Melissa,
remembering.
for me, if we remove that stuff, right? If we remove those outside aspects, I still do not like what I see on paper here. For the answer of what's on your Big Brother bucket list, he said, go in there, have fun, and be myself. And then again, use it as a PR platform. It's in this question where he talks about, I'm not a bad person. Bull riders may seem a little bit of hard butts or whatever, but I got a soft heart, man. I'm a people pleaser. I love people. I love helping people. I love
totally
helping kids.
agree.
Where's the
No,
bucket list?
I totally
Where's
agree.
Otev? Yeah.
Nothing that he said indicated that he would be like a good gamer. Like even if we are like not thinking, and I literally like I didn't really hear all the like rumors at the time when I was like creating my list. So like I created my list and my notes and everything based purely on the interviews themselves. And in the interview, I didn't hear anything that he said that gave me confidence that he like wanted to win. Or that he would win, or really would like put his heart and soul into like actually playing the game. Like he just constantly talked about like how he wanted to be a good guy in the house, and how he wanted everyone to win, and how like, you know, and then also he talked about how he would brag if he won a competition and tell them like, yeah, who won that one. And then also the fact that he talked about like how he would probably be snowed by a beautiful woman. And I could absolutely see a situation where some girl like he has a crush on someone, they use that to their advantage, and he just like does their bidding. Like I could see that happening. And so to me, like nothing in there indicated that like he would be a person who I would want to draft, totally aside from his outside escapade.
The thing about people who say they have like a weakness for pretty women is not usually actually that they'll actually like just do what the pretty women say. It's more so that as like an excuse for why they're so relentlessly annoying about pretty women in their lives.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, that's the audience's pick.
Wait,
is Riley.
Rob,
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion
Sure.
here? Historically, we've never done this, so we'd be breaking history here. Aman, would you like to trade with the audience?
No.
Give them
Yes.
Adrian.
No.
Give them Adrian. Take Riley.
Yeah, you
take a
could take
chance.
Riley.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
willing to allow
starting
it.
to remember one of the trends as well from a couple of other Southern gentlemen that did not please us.
Yeah, I do
A
feel
whole
like
new world. Yeah, Aman. Remember that?
There's a fear that if he was playing with Izzy, he'd have an interaction like this.
But you know what? Like, maybe I'm a cold ass bitch, but I don't care.
But it's not mine.
I don't care.
I can't. I hate that I can't hate him was the quote after that, which is hilarious. But I just, fine, because I do definitely remember Jackson saying, I'm a good guy. I also remember Monty from BBOTT saying, I'm a good guy. And lots of stuff happened on their seasons involving them. And so, like, I get it, but I'm also kind of just like, is it just that a lot of Southern people are hyper aware of the stereotypes that precede them? So maybe he's just doing a disclaimer. I don't know. I just thought I would give him a shot. But
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, this is not a generalization of all Southern people. This is a judgment on what we know, the little bit we know about Mr. Riley.
Riley, the person.
Riley
specifically.
Jeffries.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would love it if Riley on the feeds was as lovable as he claims to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
All right. let's talk about who we've got in our big draft. Let's start with the audience. You, the audience, the viewers. That's why you keep coming back to Rob Is a Podcast year after year, because we give you Amy and Riley. I'm sorry, we give you Zay and Riley.
Wow.
So I failed the eye
with
test.
audience?
Yeah. Sorry, I saw the short name. Then Pooya has Amy, has Vince, and Mickey. Rob has Keanu, the mystery box, and Catherine. Melissa has Zach and Ava and Will. And then Aman has Morgan and Jimmy and Adrian and Taran. Taran's Angels. It's Ashley. It's Lauren. It's Kelly. There you go. There's your draft for Big Brother 27. Someone is the winner. And maybe it's you, audience. If the audience wins, do we all eat a chapstick? Was that the bet?
If Riley wins somehow,
We should have to eat a chapstick after that if Riley
well,
wins.
I won't have to. You guys should.
Aman.
I was the only
Hey,
one.
you weren't willing to trade for him.
Well,
You
I
have
think
to eat too.
Sakamon could eat a chapstick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sakamon could definitely eat.
Sakamon would house a chapstick. Okay. All right. Let's talk about what else we have coming up tomorrow night. The premiere of Big Brother 27. And then right after, we will be with you live, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time, to talk about everything that happens over on Big Brother. Go to weknowbigbrother.com to make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. And if you're not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, what the hell are you even doing? Hit that subscribe button and make sure you get all of our Big Brother content coming this summer. Then, what else we got? Okay, we've talked about the patron stuff. robswebsite.com/patron for that. Over on Patreon, we did a podcast. What did Rob miss? Some people don't know this. I was off social media for 4 weeks. I had a work project that I was taking care of. And while I was away, I got filled in on a bunch of stuff that I missed. Pooya was there, as was Mike Bloom and Brandon Donlin. They filled me in on a bunch of stuff that I missed. You can hear that podcast over on our Patreon feed at robinswebsite.com/patron. Also, over on Chat BCC, people are like, hey, is there any alternative to Twitter? Well, there's Blue Sky, but there's
Wait,
also
there's Rachel Riley.
Chat BCC. Rachel Riley
Has
has
been
a
chatting in there.
profile, and Rachel Riley has been making posts on Chat BCC. You can read them and see, is it really her or is it Buki, aka Brendan? Go to robiswebsite.com/VIP chat to join. And there's so many house guests posting things that are unhinged over on Chat BCC. All right, Taran, you told people about the book, but what if they forgot?
If they forgot,
What if they
here it
joined
is
us
again.
late?
It's a- I have a book. It's here. It's a real book. It's got pages and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can order one and have one yourself too. It's going to be even better than this one because it's going to be like a hard copy. This one's not a hard copy because it's just an advanced reader copy. This one has typos in it still that hopefully won't exist when you get the hardcover.
Oh my god!
Wow. It's probably worth more. Typos.
Yeah, can I have that one so when the book like gets big, I can have like a really good copy.
I've learned this about writing books that it's actually very hard to keep the type. I thought publisher just takes care of that, they just get people that are experienced. Turns out every time you introduce the book to a new person, they also introduce their own typos. And so you got to keep checking it over and over. It's like like that little game where you hit the
Whack-a-mole.
gophers. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, check it out. And of course, we'll see you tomorrow night. Taran, Aman, what's coming up for you?
You can check me out everywhere at Aman Adwin. We are coming towards the end of Drag Race All Stars 10. Me and Beth have been holding down the fort over there for the past few weeks. We've got this week, and next week is the finale. So make sure that you are checking us out over there. We know Reality TV, Drag Race. And then you can check me and Matt Ligori out with our own podcast, The Diary Room, where we have been trying to whittle down all of these players to determine who is the best Big Brother player of all time. We will be adding the Big Brother 27 players after the conclusion of the season.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens. We are over a year into the podcast, and we are barely past the first half of round one. So it is going to be quite some time. All 4 of you have been on the podcast thus far. So if you've missed it at all, make sure that you check us out at the Diary Room, wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Aman. Thank you, Sock Aman, as well, for joining us tonight.
Do we have
MVP?
Okay. All right. Melissa, it's so great to be back here with you. Are you back tomorrow night?
I am back tomorrow night
Okay.
for the premiere. Very excited.
All right. We'll see you then. Anything else you want to tell people to check out?
Just on Blue Sky and Instagram, it's Melissa with 3 A's.
3 A's. Yep.
That.
You know what else has 3 A's? Ava Pearl.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, Pooya, what's coming up for you?
Well, I can be found on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Pooya. Going to be very active there this summer, so come check me out. And also, I'll give you a bit of a teaser. Liana did not know who was on this cast of Big Brother. So for the lounge that we recorded today, I had her learning and going through the entire cast. So you'll get to learn a little bit into the way Liana ingests a cast. So she got a first impression over there. When I tell you that word is apt, you'll see. It was wild. It was a wild ride we went on. It's our longest pal to date. So 2 hours of fun. Check it out.
Live chat. You were incredible tonight. We'd love to read your comments still after the fact too. So let us know what you think in the YouTube comments. And then we will see you all tomorrow night when we come back for the premiere of Big Brother 27. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.